All right, we be live. Hi everyone. Hey, we're here with Vidu. Hey Vidu. How are
How's it
you?
going,
Oh,
guys? It's your boy Voodoo
and
Viz in the
Harris.
house.
Vidu
Give me a
is in the
sec.
house. Oh, give me a sec. So we're live though.
Bro, we're not running on Pakistani time.
Oh, look at this guy. Okay, this is Harris being late.
He's got his flip flops on. He's got his
Wait,
chappli on.
do you want us to keep your video up, or do you want us to don't
I think
come
we
out
should take
naked?
I
Don't
think
come
we-
out. I want to
Well.
see. I want people. Okay, put it down. Put it down. Okay.
I'll say put it down. Yeah.
Okay, put it. That's okay. Cool. All right, so guys, we're gonna be answering Patreon questions, but before we do that, Harris is back. I'm gonna bring him up. Hey,
We're already live.
we're already well, yeah, we go live on time. I don't care. You're late.
You could have waited for like 50 seconds.
No, we go live on time.
Mate. You're so anal. How's Vidu doing?
I'm cool,
Good,
man.
good.
I'm cool. I'm good. How you doing, bro? You right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Wait, you were saying video in the house. I interrupted that awesome intro. So do it again.
Okay.
That's
Yo. It's your boy Voodoo Viz in the house. How's it going,
That's-
people? Yes.
That's
long
right.
time.
That's right. That's
Long
right.
time.
You have the best opening. Like mine
Thank
is
you.
so lame. I was like, "Hello, we're live."
live.
No, that's Susie. That's pretty good. Susie does that very well. Okay, I'm like, "We be live." Okay, but yours is like pretty epic. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Harris
Appreciate
doesn't have any. Harris just steals.
No, I do have a pretty good
What?
one. I'm like, all
What?
right, people.
Yeah, there we go. You're right. That's it. That's good. That's good.
Well, yeah, we
Guys,
gotta work. Yeah, we gotta
So
work.
we're gonna work it. Yeah, we're gonna be answering Patreon questions, but before that, we want to spend some time and talk about Andrew Tate's conversion to Islam.
Subhanallah.
Well, I don't know who was saying it. I don't know who was saying it, but I reckon he's. I reckon here's how I'm going to describe the whole thing. I mean, this is $1 million question. Is Andrew Tate here? Do you guys remember back in the old days? I haven't seen anyone using that line for a while. I haven't seen it, but do you remember like how back in the day it used to be like, "Oh, I'm just here to collect some memes." Remember that? People used to say that. People used to say, "Oh, I'm here just to collect some memes." So I reckon somebody's going to create this meme that I'm just here to collect some blind followers. So the $1 million question here is, has Andrew Tate joined this cult, or he's here to collect some Muslim cult followers? So we don't know what is he here for. I mean, has he joined this cult? You know, it could be that. But I have a feeling he's here to collect some followers. Now, people have been asking me like, "Oh, hang on, is he like, is he has he really become Muslim? Has he given up his lifestyle?" But somebody just pointed out, I'm going to find out that tweet or this video. Somebody put that up. He just put up a video like a couple of days ago after his conversion to Islam, where we're just bagging all these guys who, he's like, "Oh, what about you stupid people? You know, like people who say these broke boys who say, oh, all of us have the same grave size, like, and obviously we know that this is a favorite line of Muslims, that, "Oh, be humble, like all of us are going to end up in a hole 6x6 or something, or 6x3 or something." And he's like, "Yeah, we know he's a show pony, So I think it's going to be interesting how he gives up his humility."
Right. So, by the way, Vidu, I'm getting a bit echo feedback from you. Like, is there a way to make your microphone lower your volume so that we don't get the audio from your headphones, from your earpiece to your microphone? Yeah.
Let me try.
I don't know if it's him or who is
it's
it.
him it's him because I had my mic muted, and when you were talking, I was getting echo, so it means that it's coming from Vidu.
Hello. Any
test?
Hello.
Test. Okay, if I don't shout, no, I still hear. It's fine. Can you lower your audio to the point where it's a minimum that is suitable for you to listen? Or you could just mute yourself when the other people are talking.
Yeah, I could just mute myself when I'm not talking.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is the post when they made it official, because I don't know if you guys remember, he was praying in a mosque, and that's not enough to call somebody a Muslim, okay? You have to actually come out and say you're a Muslim, okay? And he made it official on this post on, I don't know what social media platform, because he's banned from most, but this isn't one of those social media platforms that he wasn't banned from. But the interesting thing is that a lot of the channels, Muslim channels who were covering this, had this bottom part cut. And they were showing only the top part, okay? And the bottom part was a video. And this top part was the only part like this. This was being highlighted like that. And it honestly didn't make any sense. Like, you're like, oh, look, this is why he's a Muslim. And there's any Christian who believes in good and understands the true battle against evil must convert. And then the Quran verse, so be patient, indeed the promise of Allah is true. And like, where is the reason? Like, I don't understand how a lot of Muslims who were, this part was being shown, like, oh, this is why I'm a Muslim. Where's the reason? The reason was missing. Because they were too ashamed to show the actual reason. All right? They were censoring the reason. Okay? And the reason was, we had a trans Christian preacher, and he was basically saying that Christians tolerate transphobia, like transgender people, right? So he's basically saying that Islam doesn't. The only channel I saw that did highlight this part was like Daniel Hayraju, because he doesn't shy away from being like anti-trans and stuff. But Daniel Hayraju also censored this. He censored the picture. He censored this part because he's too naked. He covered his aura. Okay, so that's what he covered. But do you guys want to see the video that was?
Yeah, play it. What's in the video? I want to see it. I didn't know it either. Good pick.
Okay.
This is Isaac, the Methodist.
Here, I'll bring the video. So I downloaded the video just in case it gets removed or something. All right. Let me know if you have audio from this.
This is Isaac. The Methodist Church has ordained their first drag queen to preach in their churches, and listen to what Isaac has to say in one of his sermons.
We are here to learn and to grow and to deconstruct and to reimagine what church can be, who church can be for, and how church can feel together. It can be a place unafraid to denounce queerphobia, a place unafraid to name the sin of racism, and to call for an end to.
Notice he has trouble even speaking right there. The church does not need to deconstruct. Jesus has built the church, and the Bible says the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. What do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comments.
I don't understand.
So he's saying that, look, Christians tolerate too much sin, too much liberal trans acceptance stuff, okay? So there's two forces in the world, right? The liberal world order and conservatives. That's what they think, okay? Right. And all the conservatives that are standing against the world liberal order are uniting, okay? So it's not about atheist versus Muslim or Muslim versus Christian, okay? It's the people who are on the side of darkness, i.e. liberalism, and the people who are on the side of wholesome, conservative family values, okay? So you have Muslims who have given to the liberalism, and you have Muslims who haven't. You have Christians who have given to liberalism, and Christians who haven't. You have atheists who have given to liberalism, and atheists who haven't. Right? But they're trying to. The lines of divisions are changing. It's not religion versus non-religion anymore. It's liberals versus people who seeing the darkness of what's about to come and ruin the world, and is taking the whole world over. And they're all uniting. Okay? And Andrew Tate thinks that Islam does that a lot more effectively than Christianity. He thinks Christians have bent the knee too much, which is kind of ironic because the video he's posting is literally a Christian calling this out. You know what I mean? This is a Christian saying that this is not acceptable. He's like, oh, Christians allow this and don't tolerate too much. Well, we have a Christian right at the bottom that is kind of not tolerating this. Because if you can find examples of Christians tolerating trans acceptance and stuff, guess what? I have a lot of examples of imams tolerating this stuff either. Like we have like plenty of examples of Muslims accepting LGBT stuff, right? So I don't know, like, is this enough reason for you to leave Islam then, Andrew Tate? Like, have you seen this stuff? If you could find examples of Christians, I could find examples of Islam for you. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Have a look at this one. Yeah, and I get it. I think at the end of the day, it's about accepting people for who they are, and obviously religion itself is the biggest hurdle. So all these religions, they say no, hang on. Basically, being conservative means going with the traditional values, and humans throughout the ages have evolved over time, and religions hold them back, and religions say no, hang on, this is a man, this is a woman, and homosexuality is bad, blah blah blah, the trans, all of that. And have a look at this one. So it's not necessarily about, accepting Islam. It's all about whether you believe there is a creator of the universe or not. The values, what's right and what's wrong, that's the secondary issue. First of all, you have to see whether there is a God or not. Like, it's just like, who does this? Who says that, you know what? Actually, before I go into that, have a look at this one. So let's just understand what Andrew Tate is like. Have a look at this video. He goes, look who he considers real Muslims. Have a look at this one. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
ISIS are the real Muslims because ISIS do exactly what the book says. Kill everyone who's not a Muslim and chop people's heads off and set them on fire and be fucking raging lunatics. But all the other Muslims go, they're not real Muslims because I read the book and ignore those parts. Well, then you're not fucking Muslim because you're ignoring the fucking book.
Right?
ISIS are the...
He's actually right. He's actually right. So basically, at the end of the day, he's actually a conservative. He has a problem with liberal values that recognize human beings as human beings, whether you're homosexual or transsexual or whatever you are. We accept everyone has human rights. No, but the traditional view, conservative worldview is, or these people who want to stay back, their worldview is, no. We're not going to give you dignity. We're not going to respect you as individual. Therefore, we're going to go. I'm going to go shopping. Let me find out what religion is out there that actually holds its values strongly as he does. He doesn't want to recognize people. He doesn't want to give people respect and dignity that they deserve. So it's like, okay, well, Islam seems to be the only one. Oh, the one religion that actually chops people's heads off or stone people to death. Oh, that is one strong religion. So I want it, and that's why he's actually gone with it. So this is it's just remarkable how Muslims are being taken for a ride, and it's only a matter of time when all of this is actually going to blow up in their faces.
Vidu, what do you think?
Is there an echo or something?
No, it's not. But your idea is low.
Okay.
Speak louder. I could.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, louder, slightly louder.
Yeah, I fixed
that's
it.
good.
I fixed it. I made it. Yeah, I fixed it.
Cool.
Yeah, I fixed it. Go.
Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of the stuff you said was right. It's a stupid thing to convert to any religion based upon one trans thing, because you convert to the religion. Initially, if you believe in their God and prophet, not because of trans here or there. That's a bit of a stupid way to look at things. But I think, and I've been watching his videos for some time now, his major appeal to Islam and Christianity, and what I would say is the same. You know how you had Sam Harris versus Peterson, and a lot of Harris's followers kind of lent towards Peterson because, there is this sort of like, I don't know, ancient kind of wisdom or whatever you want to call it. Tate gravitates towards Islam because he sees the current liberal West. And I would like to first point out that the West is not one thing. Like, the West is not liberal. The West is not conservative. There are conservative movements and liberal movements within the West, just like in any other part of the world. Okay, right. But nevertheless, the mainstream narrative or the mainstream culture in the West is more towards the left. Anyway, so he looks at the left and the weak people, trans, everything is gay, man, woman, woman, man. There's no boundaries. And then he sees Islam. The women are in their proper place. The men are strong. There are clear boundaries, and everyone has their role. And the men don't take shit, and they'll kill you if you draw cartoons. He goes, that is strength. The same way Christian conservatives in America gravitate towards Putin. That is strength. Yeah, we may not like him, but at least he's a man. He gets the job done, right? He's a hard man. So now we have the two archetypes of the soft liberal green-haired guy who's like, yeah, I'm okay, you can whatever, and then you have the hard man, and this is what the whole argument is about. He doesn't care about the hadiths. He doesn't care about the values and the fiqh, and he's not going to get into the minutia. He just looks at that and thinks, wow, these guys are strong. They don't take BS. I want to be part of this club. And he's got his own club, right, of men from different walks of life. He's one of his best mates. He's a porn star. This guy started his whole business on OnlyFans. He doesn't care about the halal or haram when you really get into it. Okay, he doesn't really care, but he likes the image of the strong man. And he what he's doing is he's waiting for these people to have their fight in the cultural wars, and whoever wins, he's like, oh, I'm going with those guys. And in the culture wars in the West, unfortunately, Muslims are, for the most part, you can't criticize them the way you criticize Christians or other people. It's like, oh, so they must be doing something right. It's the last religion left. I would say that's, from an atheist, that's a bad thing. I mean, that's not a compliment. The fact that these people still hold on to these things, but fine. He sees strength in them the same way Harris's crowd that gravitated towards Peterson saw strength in believing in something bigger than themselves. But this is basically a very old fight. It's the archetype of the liberal guy, which is I'm free, I can do anything you want, on one extreme. And I would say, listen, you might disagree with me. I would say mainstream culture in the West, the liberal part anyway, has gone too far. But when you can't even tell me what a man or a woman is, I'm not trying to be transphobic or anything, but just in general terms, you can't even tell me what that is. And now it's gone down to the primary school level. You can't even define what that is on a school level. Then of course the Muslims and the Christians and anyone who's slightly even lowercase conservative will be like, what the F? What the hell? You can't even tell me what that is. You got people like Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire, who now is perceived as some sort of intellectual giant because he's asking professors what's a woman, and they can't answer a question. He shouldn't be an intellectual giant. He's asking a simple question, which we knew the answer of 15 years ago, everyone. But now he seems like a hero because simple questions can't be answered by people.
To be fair, though, there are good liberals do have good answers to those questions. It's easy to make a documentary where you don't include those good answers.
Okay, well, to be fair, I have seen enough footage of now Democratic senators when the latest one who got
senators are idiots.
So, okay, so you don't want me to go to activists, you don't want me to go to senators. So who do you want me to
before? No, there are activists that I can answer.
Hang on a second.
Activists don't answer this question. They don't answer. Guys, the Labour Party will not define what in this country will not define what a woman is. They are the left.
Hang on. No, seriously. Before we go into that, I just want to nip it in the bud. I just can't get over this fact. Yeah, like I just saw Mohammed Hijab interviewing Andrew Tate as well. And by the way, I've never ever seen anyone being so deep. I mean, he was literally balls deep in Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab was so timid. He was like, there's a superstar here. Right. Like he was sucking up and simping Andrew Tate. Like now in that video actually shows you who is the OG. And Mohammed Hijab was just a groupie, by the way. Let me put it that way. This guy was, I don't know if you actually showed the introduction. Look at the way he's sitting there. It's like, oh, yes, okay, they had the big G's here. Anyway, so I just can't get over the fact that Andrew Tate says that I'm accepting Islam. And he mentions that in this interview as well. He says that in this interview, he says, I've accepted Islam because of, there's no other religion. It's the oldest religion, it's the newest religion, which is another BS, by the way. There's so many other new religions as well. And what is your criterion? Does it has to be 1,000 years old? Then maybe wait for 1,000 years for Scientology to mature up, and there's Qadiani. There's so many other religions. But anyway, forget about that. But have you ever heard someone say, you ask someone, hey, why did you buy this car? And he says, I bought this car, and this is at a default level. I bought this car because the color. I love the color of the car. No, the first and primary reason for the car is like I need a car to go from A to B. And that is the primary reason. All these other things are like, it's not even secondary or tertiary. So he says, okay, I'm only going to accept Islam because it has this stance on homosexuality or conservative values, etc. Nobody says that. When you accept Islam, the first and foremost, the first point is you believe that this universe was created by a being and his name is Allah, and this is what he did. He sent and that is what the Shahada is. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Like, there's no God but Allah, and he sent a prophet called Muhammad. That's it. Everything else comes secondary. Like, oh, I accepted Islam because, it forces you to wash yourself up 5 times a day. And you'd be like, oh, hang on a second. So is that the reason why you accepted Islam? I just can't get over the fact. This is what Andrew Tate is saying, and all these Muslim boys and girls.
Well, let me defend him. Let me defend him. Okay. The idea is that through the way you become a Muslim is through accepting Allah as the one and only God and Muhammad as his prophet. Okay, but the signs of this religion having the right God is teachings, right? So it's not like it's just because of the teachings that I converted to this religion.
No, this is not what he says. He actually doesn't say this. He actually says this. He said, okay, look, Christians don't enforce the Bible.
But this is but he doesn't articulate it very well. But wow. I'm just trying to steelman him. I'm just trying to steelman him.
No. I know, but you're giving him an extra credit. I think you're giving him an idea, but he's
I know I'm doing that. I'm being biased here so that I can steelman him. I'm admitting that I'm doing that. Okay.
Well, there you go. Now he gives him an idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he's saying that a religion that is giving these good teachings there must be something to this. There must be something to this religion that has such good teachings. So the source must be a good source. So
I get it, but that's not what he's saying. We got to go by what his understanding is. His understanding is, hey, look, Muslims enforce their Islamic values better than Christians. Christian values are great, but Christians no longer. So the argument arises here is
there are as many paths to Allah as there are human beings.
No, hang on a second, but I'm gonna go by what he says. So that if we follow that logic, then it means Christianity is great. There's a problem with Christians themselves. So don't throw away Christianity. Just believe in Christianity and just tell your Christians that, okay, this is how you ought to behave.
Yeah, but God is showing the superiority of his religion through the conduct of his followers.
Yeah, and the other argument against that can be used is like, well, just being radical about or dogmatic about your ideology doesn't make it a good ideology. I mean, you can find Nazis as well. Nazis would have been very radical about all this the homophobia and transphobia, etc. Nazis would have been.
Yeah, they weren't scared of being strong men, the Nazis. So yeah, you're absolutely right. All the Mongols that destroyed 50 or killed 50 million people, whatever it is.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys like the people you're mentioning.
They would be simping over Genghis Khan. Just imagine if anyone has seen that. I actually couldn't get over the fact Muhammad Dab sitting like that. The OG, the orator, the most handsome, a specimen. All right, mate, pull his dick out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So here's a summary of what you guys are saying. These guys are judging what's right by the idea of might is right.
Yes,
that's what you're saying. Yes,
yeah,
basically, yes. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
You go where the power is, and right now the cultural power, the cultural currency, is within conservatism, but the most extreme part of that is within Islam. Okay, that is acceptable within mainstream culture. You could go to Nazi or far right, but that's not acceptable, right? And he's not a racist.
I have a theory as well, but I want to not give my theory, but instead highlight some super chats. Okay. Zagros is saying my hypothesis is that he is going to use religion as a shield from being canceled further. Actually, this is close to what I was going to say, and to gather following along the way. And hello to you, gents. Hello back at you. What do you guys think about this?
You know what? No, you're absolutely right. And listen, he's a chess player, and I heard him say this. Right, he's actually quite high level chess player. But anyway,
smart.
I heard him say this was the whole point of chess is you don't say, oh, I don't like the rules of the game. I want to start a new game, because whatever move that is the best move to make on the board, you make it. So right now, the best move for him, after being cancelled, he needs to cloak or package his views in something that's mainstream or / acceptable. The only kind of package he could go into is not Christianity, because they're too soft for him. It's Islam. If he's going to package his views and enter the mainstream, it has to be via Islam. There's no other way to do it. So he's like, if I publicly say, oh, Muslim, mashallah, alhamdulillah, do this, whatever. Okay, now I can come back into the mainstream with the Muslim guys, with the Muslim hat on, and say the same stuff, but now people are like, oh shit, I can't even say anything against her because now I'm Islamophobic.
I don't think it's gonna work though. I don't think
he's trying it. He's trying it. Why not? Why not? He's got nothing to lose anyway.
See, there are two religions in the world, okay, that when you convert to them, it gives you a clean slate. Okay? One of them is Islam, the other one is Christianity. So these are perfect religions for you to either convert to or start acting like you just started to take them seriously when you have been mass canceled. Okay, this is why Milo, when he was, canceled everywhere because his child, abuse comments, he had the come to Jesus moment. Okay, because there are a whole audience that are religiously mandated to forgive him if he takes that religion seriously and has so you lose a big audience, but now there's a whole bunch of people that have to accept you because you have a concept.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Islam as well is a pretty good, like when you're mass canceled, there are literally 2 billion people in the world that are told that whatever past sins you have had, whatever problems you have, they have to ignore because you have done those when you were not a Muslim. So they have to give you a complete new chance. This is a really good opportunity for clean slate. Yeah, clean slate. So it's a really good motive. Again, you cannot really read people's minds, but it is a powerful motive. Even if that's not his motive, that's going to work so much in his favor.
Listen, he's going to go around for the next couple of years doing Islamic tours up and down all these different countries, US, America, Middle East, wherever it is, saying, back in the days I was banging bitches. Now I'm, mashallah, doing this, doing dua, fajr, all this kind of crap. Now I thought cars made me happy, but then I realized Allah made me happy. Yeah, all the same. I was a gangster back in the days, but now I do this and this and this, and all this kind of stuff. We've seen it happen so many times.
You gotta give him credit. You gotta.
When Mike Tyson comes out of prison, alhamdulillah, shut up.
You gotta give him credit. I've been saying it and I've only been saying it to my Pakistani crowd. Yeah, I've been just saying, look, if I come out as a Muslim, this is gonna be great for you guys. You guys are gonna suck up. It's gonna be huge. But I never did it. But he, hats off to Andrew Tate. He knows how to make a fool, not only out of he's a top G. He's a top G. What's this? He just posted this video after he became a Muslim again. Look, this is an old video, but he reposted it. Have a look at this video.
Do absolutely nothing with my life because one day I'm going to die. Sit around and be like you, a broke boy, because one day I'm going to die. That's the most pathetic justification. I'm on fucking Twitter or Facebook. I'm flexing. I'm the broke boys, cars, money, champagne. There's always one pussy ass broke boy. Our graves are the same. What?
Our graves are the same size. That's Muhammad job.
What does that have to do? Our graves being the same size, although it's false, because I guarantee I'll have a bigger grave than you. One.
Oh yeah.
Not that it matters, but
it's gonna make a shrine.
Flex on you in my death for eternity. Blessed be thy flex. Even though it's false, let's assume it was true. What does that have to do with me being in the club? With a Lambo out front, with the hose, with the champagne, being big and strong and sexy as fuck. What does my grave size have to do with any of?
Anyway, so he just posted this. He just posted this a couple of days ago, and this Muslim guy Shibli Zaman is saying, Andrew Tate posted this video 1 hour ago. Beware of the filthy language. Definitely not safe for work environment. In it, he takes Pharaoh as a model. By the way, I actually created this meme a while ago, back in 2017. I guarantee you wouldn't find it. Because Vidu, do you know this? We've heard this in Urdu. We've heard this in Pakistani culture a lot. That we're all gonna go in our own grave. Our grave size are gonna be at the same size, no matter who's a king, no matter who's. And then I was like, hang on a second, this is such a bad proverb. You know why? Because look at the pharaohs. So I actually says. I quoted this quote of people saying that we're all. Our grave size is going to be the same. And I said, speak for yourself, bitches. And then I put a pyramid next to it. It's like, Pharaoh is like having a laugh at you. It's like, no, hang on a second. My grave is way bigger than yours. But anyway, you wouldn't find that meme older than 2017 because I was the one who first created it. But anyway. But look at this guy, Andrew Tate. He's taking the piss out of every...
Anyone who thinks he's genuinely fallen in love with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, they are tripping. If you think this guy loves anything more than himself, then you are the biggest deluded person. You're the most deluded person I know, honestly.
They already are. They believe Muhammad flew to heaven on a winged donkey. Come on, and in that interview, look, Muhammad is very subtly dropping in the Quranic verses, when it's
yeah.
He's subtly dropping them in. He's like, you son of a gun. You should be crafty there. But I just can't wait for the moment. Look, What do you reckon? Here's a question for both of you boys. What do you reckon? Is he gonna become an ex-Muslim with a bang? Like he's gonna come out and he's gonna say, "Well, this is a filthy cult," you know? Like, I mean, yeah, look, I was sucked into this, blah blah blah. Or he's gonna go. He's just slowly gonna fizzle out, like Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson. Whenever he
Mike
comes out,
Tyson,
like,
Lindsay Lohan. There's so many celebrities that can convert.
Is
to
he gonna be
Islam
like that?
No, Lindsay Lohan didn't convert to
She
Islam.
didn't convert.
to Islam.
She didn't convert, but she flirted with it. She flirted. She was very flirty with it.
Okay, guys, like a lot of people saying that this is not a true Muslim. It actually is a true Muslim. You guys, here, I'll take the Islam. I'll put the Muslim.
Sorry.
Okay?
What is a true Muslim? What's the?
No, like Andrew Tate's lifestyle is like they're like this is not truly.
No, that's not. He's got girlfriends. He's gambling. He's drinking out. What's
The guy built his fortune with webcam girls.
Well,
Webcam
let me put my Muslim hat on. Okay?
Don't say
We're
they're
all
concubines.
No. We're all sinners. Okay.
Subhanallah.
Everybody sins. You know, being a Muslim is not about being perfect. Being a Muslim, like this is what non-Muslims don't understand. Okay, 99% of Islam is the Tawheed. It's not about haram and halal. Those are just the secondary minute stuff that is like just if you want to live a better life. Okay, but the concept of Tawheed, accepting the Shahadat, that's what brings you to the fold of Islam. Your lifestyle doesn't. You could have a non-Islamic lifestyle, but as long as you accept Allah and Muhammad as his prophet, you are far, far, far better off than any non-Muslim that, you know, with whatever lifestyle they have. Also, yes, first of all, you keep talking about the things that he has done before, like, oh, he had porn stars and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Those are gone. That's like, we have to judge him based on, first of all, only Allah can judge him. Second of all, it's only what he does from now, okay? Not what he did before. And even if he doesn't have a perfect Islamic lifestyle, as Muslims, you can't speak ill about other Muslims because you don't know. Only God knows. Okay, only God, and nobody's perfect. And he just started. Like you can't when somebody becomes a Muslim, you can't rush them. Yeah, go on.
Ill-gotten wealth. What about that? Like, I mean, if you've created your empire from gambling, or let's say from soliciting sex. That is webcam girls. He did that, you know, like from a liberal point of view. I mean, this is what I don't get it. These people are like, oh yeah, okay, you know, like, oh, I'm a Muslim. All my past sins have been. By the way, he's actually not saying that. You know, like Muhammad Gawaz. By the way, it doesn't matter to us, you know, brother. Everything that you've done in the past is all gone. Yeah, he's saying that. It's like, hang on a second. When are you gonna give away all your wealth in charity because this is ill-gotten wealth? This is haram money. Nah, nobody's saying that. And he would never do it.
Yeah, okay, so first of all, he's not going to be perfect. You don't expect that from Muslims to be perfect, okay? That's not the expectation yet. And he's going to continue to sin, okay? But he also has a lot of sawab, a lot of good points, but for every Muslim for every person that becomes a Muslim because of Andrew Tate and all the good deeds that they do now because they're Muslim. How come you're not saying that? Even if Andrew Tate is not a perfect Muslim, the fact that he came to the world and announced that he's Muslim, imagine all the sawabs, that all the good deeds that he's going to get from God, that for every single, there's nothing better that you could do than from saving somebody from hellfire. Yes, so maybe he goes and has sex with somebody that he's not supposed to, that he's going to have sins on his book for that. But
this is good.
The sawab, the good points that he's going to get from bringing somebody out of hellfire because now they're Muslim.
That's BS. Huh? That's BS. Look at this one. I know you're clutching at straws here. Like, I mean, look at this. This is BS. I've always said it that this is actually a good thing. You know, these kind of people, you know, like they're being, you know, they're taking over Islam. This is a good thing. Look at this first female imam. Yeah, you know what? This is great. Yes, you want these kind of Muslims. This is great because this is diluting the Islam that you and all of the you and I, all of us have been fighting against. Yeah, so you know, this is female. Look, I didn't know there were that many of them. There's your France female imam. I remember this lady, Shirin Kankan. She's a Danish woman, and she was the first female imam. And now look, there's so many of them now. Why? Which is a good thing. So this is if people like DOG, if they're the top G, if they're going to be, you know, like if they're going to take over Islam and they're going to propagate Islam, that's great. I mean, Prophet Muhammad would be just rolling in his grave. Like he'd be like, "What am you fucking
It's
know
true,
it.
actually. It's true.
No. We have so many hadiths about Muhammad that he wouldn't think about it like that. He doesn't think like that. We have a hadith of Muhammad. Okay, when there was during a war, one of the Sahaba, one of the Prophet's companions, right? He was killing one of the enemies of Islam, and right before he was killing him, the guy was like, "I'm converting to Islam. I'm converting to Islam." Okay, but the guy was like, obviously, this guy's like just wanted, like, he killed him anyways, and he came to the Prophet and he told him what happened, and Muhammad said, "Why did he kill him? He became a Muslim." And he said,
I
like,
guess you're
"What
right.
are you talking? Wait, let me just for the people who don't know." And the guy said, like, "What do you mean he became a Muslim?" He said the Shahada just to save his skin. He didn't really believe in it. And Muhammad said, "Did you look into his heart? Did you know what he really believed in his heart? You didn't know that." So basically, based on Islam, you can't judge what's actually the motivation. When somebody comes to Islam, you have to accept them with
Guys,
open arms. You don't.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
I think that's fine. Whatever you believe of Andrew Tate, whether he is a Muslim or isn't, or it's a phase, or if it's his chess move, or whatever you want to call it. But I think this is going to be the real topic, because everyone's talking about this, or it's kind of under the surface. We need to talk about the fact that liberalism, mainstream liberalism.
Okay, let's get to it.
Let's get to that. That is what is really the problem here. Okay. About 10, 20 years ago, I'll say 20 years ago, I remember growing up and watching Fox News and Bill O'Reilly on Fox News. He was the crazy one. Conservatives, for the most part, were the crazies. Now, I would say, you can disagree with me, for the most part in mainstream new pop culture, it's the liberals who are the crazies. And conservatives seem somewhat rational, or somewhat I won't say rational, reasonable. And that switch I've seen in 20 years. I remember watching Bill O'Reilly. This guy's nuts. Bible bashing, this verse, that. Now, Christians don't need to come up with their verses. They don't even need to do that. They just say, a woman is a woman. Everyone's like, whoa, oh my God, this guy's a genius. They don't even have to quote a scripture. Muslims don't have to say any quoting scripture. All they got to say is, you won't get this in Islam. This trans, this, you won't get this. That's all they have to say. And that's all Andrew Tate is literally saying is, you don't get this in Islam. He's not quoting scripture. He's not quoting hadith, or even like scientific miracles. Oh, that's way gone. He doesn't even need to do that. All he's got to say is, you won't get this in Islam. That's because they've gone so far. The bar is so low on both sides.
Well, this actually answers Xi Jinping's question, because he was asking why. I think he means why conservatives like Andrew Tate get so popular in the West. I think that's what you're saying basically is trying to answer that. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, it's basically a short answer to that, according to Vidu, is because so many people think liberalism has gone cuckoo, which I disagree with. But I will let you guys finish, and I'll tell you why I disagree with that. I think liberalism is stronger than ever. But Harris, you could go ahead.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot about this, and I actually kind of agree with Vidu. So when the OGs, the real OGs like Dawkins and Harris and all these guys, when they just kind of blew up in everyone's faces back in 2005, 4, 6, it's like, oh, it makes sense. Like they would make Christian conservatives or Christians in general piss their pants. It just like Christopher Hitchens, where are you? Like it was like, oh, those arguments were so basic and simple. But here we have these 4 or 5 guys, and they're just destroying the opposition's arguments. So it was always inevitable. And then by Christopher Hitchens died in 2011 and 2015, 14. By 2014, 15, you can start seeing the switch, the shift. And I would say Jordan Peterson was right at the top of that. Like, I mean, I don't give a F about Peterson's fanboys, and they say, oh, no, he's a bit more complicated than that. Somebody actually made a video on that. Somebody said that, oh, Peterson's only problem is a good dictionary. Like, whatever you throw at him, he said, what do you mean by belief? What do you mean by God? What do you mean by religion? It's like, oh, he just needs a good dictionary, basically. Like everything, he just confuses everything. And then from there onwards, we see this rise of conservatism, and like it was always inevitable that some people were going to come out and they're going to say, yes, like, oh, it's not a man's fault. A woman should bear responsibility if she gets raped, like if she goes to a club or whatever, like women are men's property, blah, blah, blah. And there's so many insults out there. We know that there are fractures in every society. We know that there are problems everywhere. But this was only a matter of time when this was going to blow up. And then we see this rise of conservatism in the West. Like people with abhorrent views, they're getting popularity because I think this is where we went wrong, because of wokeism. I think this woke culture, this woke attitude, that just destroyed everything. Because, and this is what Elon Musk, by the way, the guy is an atheist. Elon Musk is an atheist. So if you guys are, all of you conservatives, if you're looking at Elon Musk and you're looking for freedom of speech, you're looking at an atheist, by the way. And at the start, Armin Navabi said that, like atheists also, there are atheists who believe in some traditional values, and the atheists who are just way too far on the left, blah, 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 if you want to call it radical left, whatever you want. Elon Musk is obviously not one of them, and I think I'm not, and I think Vidu is not. I don't know about Armin. I think Armin is not either, but he'll explain himself. But so this is where we actually went wrong. I've said it numerous times that I don't care if someone identifies himself as a woman or whatever. I don't care. Don't force it on me. I would give you the respect that you deserve. You want me to call you with whatever name you want? Like if I say, hey, Vidu, Armin, call me Harry, or call me Harris, call me Harris, you would give me the courtesy and you would call me exactly how I asked you to call me, right? You would do that. And just the same way, I would extend that to your pronoun as well. You call me Zer, address me as Zer, the, girl, whatever that is. I would do that. And I have a very strong argument on that as well. It's like, because, like people say that these conservatives, they just blow up. And I haven't heard a decent argument from anyone. It's like, oh no, how am I going to remember all these pronouns? There are like 468 of those pronouns. How many freaking transgenders do you know? I only know one from my old workplace. I haven't even seen her that often, but I'm sure that I'll see her. I haven't actually had a conversation with her recently. But if she said that I could call me this pronoun, that's it. How many transgenders do I know? I wouldn't know that many. I would not know 70 different trans women or trans men who would say.
Isn't that the point? That in reality, most people don't know that many
exactly
people, but it's on the news as if every other person is transitioning. And most people are like, why are we spending so much time on this issue?
No, Vidu.
This is a problem. Like literally, I think I've literally met one or two, maybe three.
But Vidu,
I think.
But do you agree with me that, like, if a trans woman or trans man tells you that, hey, call me or use this pronoun for me,
I would.
You do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even a fucking issue.
But
okay, first,
the amount of time
the number
on
of
the news and the amount of time on most issues, the amount of legislation that's been passed, it's as if every other guy or girl is going to transition, and people are like, "Why are we?"
That's not a good argument, Peter. That's not a good argument.
Children.
That's not a good
I don't
argument.
understand the relevance of that.
That's not a good argument.
It's the reason why that people are flocking to him. So it is an argument you should listen to, because most people are saying, "Why we spend way too much?"
That's why I have an answer to it. That's because I thought about it, because I listened to it, right? All right. So this argument could have been also applied to handicapped people. Okay, handicapped people.
No, because handicapped people don't define gender or define any category.
Are you gonna let me finish my point? Okay, let me finish my point. Okay, no. You can't switch your points. We're only addressing one of your points. The point, like while I'm addressing your point, you can't change your argument mid-point. You're talking about the number of people, the fact that there are few of them. Okay, I'm not even talking about all handicapped people. I'm talking specifically about a minority of handicapped people who can't walk. All right, for these people, we decided, even though they are a very, very small part of a community, we have decided in some countries to make it illegal for you to not have ramps. We have restructured walkways, staircases, entire buildings mandated by law to make it make their lives easier. And not only we did not object to that, we were like, look at us. Look how far the society has come. Look how much shows how advanced we are. That for the few people who need help, we go out of our way. We don't change just our language. We change entire buildings. We change entire buildings for the sake of our few, because that's how liberal we are. Because liberalism is defined by the majority caring for the minority, right? Liberal
Bro, that is
democracy
such
means
a bad- I
democratic.
can't believe-
What?
You think only liberals care about disabled? Like, well, there's no disabled
Did
conservatives.
I say only liberals?
So then
I
why are
said
you
this
putting
is
it under liberalism? That's not a
This is
liberal argument.
because this
to
is
care
a
about disabled people.
defining feature of liberalism. We have liberal democracies
don't know
means
about
that democracies that it's not just about majority rule. The fact that there are a lot of people, it doesn't mean that that's all the only people you have to care about. You care about people that are the few, and trans people are the few. But we
the
are more
problem with the
advanced
trans
countries because
debate-
we care about the few.
Sure, there are multiple problems with the trans debate. One, it redefines categories which most people have thought was like obvious to like literally every mammal or even reptile on the planet. Now we're redefining that. For everything we've known for the last human history is now gone. Secondly, we're teaching it to children, and the way they're teaching it to, I think, is rather unnecessary. Right? These are the rules. It's not just because we're not just saying, you know what, we'll have a unisex toilet in a restaurant. I don't think anyone would care about that. Right? It's not facilitating their space
they
like
care.
that. It's much bigger than that, and you know it is. And the fact is, people keep raising the trans issue and other issues like sex and all this kind of stuff. And we can talk about red pill right now if you want, like the genders and all this kind of stuff. These are the reasons why Tate and hijab and Peterson, all this kind of people, are now popular or seem to have some credibility. Now you can disagree with why.
Do I agree with you?
What it is.
We redefine categories all the time.
We
It's
do
not a
that.
big deal.
Exactly. I was going to ask you.
Language,
based on
we
evidence,
redefine,
not
we,
based on ideology.
we redefine language.
Based on
ideology. We do it all
evidence. Based on
Yes,
evidence.
Ideology.
The ideology
okay.
is you can be whatever
The
you want.
liberal
And that's what they're
scientific
going with.
worldview is an ideology based on evidence.
Vidu, here's my question.
And
Armin,
we change language based on its utility.
Armin,
all
you're
the
being
time.
too
That's
woke.
what
You're being
He's
too
being
woke.
way too woke.
You're being way too
Okay,
woke. But
sure.
I think
that's the card you play when you don't have a good argument against.
I'm
me.
about to
Like,
give you an
I don't
argument.
say,
I think I'm a real centrist.
Go on, Harry.
But here's
this
the
is what
problem.
conservatives do to the other
No,
side.
not
This is
really.
like,
No.
This is what the
No, no,
woke
they
do.
say
They
women
say
are-
like racist, you're transphobe. This is
No,
what
no,
you guys
'cause-
do. Woke,
no, no,
woke,
'cause-
woke.
Conservatives say that women are responsible for it. Okay, so hang on a sec. Vidu, but do you understand that why things can... Actually, I'm going to be Jordan Peterson now.
Go
It's
on.
complicated. You know, why is
Yes.
it complicated? Because you understand that we have this very tiny... this is what I initially said, that this is not even an issue. This is not a freaking issue. There's hunger. There is freaking mad dictators. You know, there's so many other things. And look at this. Vladimir Putin, every now and then, he gives this statement. He says that, oh, by the way, Andrew Tate, we know who's the real top G. That is not Andrew Tate. That is Putin, because he said, "Oh, Putin, I don't want to offend you. You know, you can be the top Google person if you want." He actually got nervous about. So Andrew Tate, man, hats off to you, because I know he's playing this game so well, and these freaking idiots don't even realize what's going to hit them. But anyway, so my point is, do you understand, Vidu, that why it has become complicated? No matter how small a minority might be of this transgender community, we have to somehow recognize them, give them respect, and recognize, you know, like whatever the discrimination that's gone on against them throughout these years. And now they're like, because liberal worldview tells you that, hey, I'm gonna look at you as an individual. I don't care who you are. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to give you the dignity. I'm going to give you the recognition that any other person gets it. What do you reckon? How do we address that problem then?
I don't have a problem with respecting trans people, with whether it's pronouns or whether it's toilet. Like if you want a unisex toilet or whatever it may be, like general decency, I have no problem with that. I don't care on a personal level if someone's a trans or not. It's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. Same with someone's gay. I don't care if you're gay or straight, whatever it is. The problem is when you redefine categories based on not on evidence, like, oh, we found a new thing in biology where actually there is no such thing. No, it's not that. It's just simply we want to be so inclusive that if you think you're a female, you are a female, and anyone who challenges. Sorry, I can't hear you.
We have evidence.
Yeah, you have evidence that if you're a man, you can be a woman.
Well, this is your misunderstanding of the difference.
Oh, here we
between
go.
sex
Here
and
we go.
gender.
Okay,
Here
go
we
on,
go.
go on. If
Here we
you
go.
know something
Here's
that
here we
top-level
go.
scientists
An actual logical argument for what you're
Go on.
misunderstanding
Listen.
about
Honestly, you're gonna make the science publication now. Go on. Go hear this.
Okay, what we have evidence for, okay, is the fact that if you accept the gender identity that the trans people are comfortable with, you are removing a huge burden from their from their mental health.
Okay.
That's what we have
Is that the same as
overwhelming
actual
evidence for. What?
If I dig up their bodies in 100 years' time, will I look at their skeleton or will I look at their gender identity? You can tell
When you look at the
whether
bodies
it's a
of
man or a
100
woman.
years old, they're dead. I don't care about their mental
No, but
health.
that's what I'm saying. Factually
don't
speaking, they're not. I'm happy
Factually,
to
I'm
say,
not
listen,
talking
I know you
about their
identify
sex.
as whatever.
I'm talking about their identity. I'm not talking. I
talking about
understand a
facts.
female. Okay, you don't understand the facts. I know a female will always remain female. You cannot change a female.
Okay,
A
that's
female
fine
will
then.
always be female.
Then we
A
agree.
male will always be a male. We're not talking about biological facts. We're talking about psychological facts. You are even misunderstanding what field of study we're talking about. That's your problem. You keep like, oh, biological facts. We're talking about mental identities. We're not talking about chromosomes and dicks and vaginas here.
Well, I was.
Let me.
That's not the thing that
I
we're
reckon-
claiming you can change. We're not claiming you can
I'm not
change your
saying
sex.
you guys are claiming that. I'm saying mainstream, bruv. This is. I can't believe.
No,
I have to
hang
say
on,
this.
hang on
I
a
don't know
second.
where you guys
Let
are
me-
doing. Maybe people are saying this.
Let me rephrase this issue and where this problem, where this issue becomes really problematic. And I could be wrong. I say there are two biological sexes, and obviously intersex. I mean that's biological as well. But I mean in the mainstream we have male with a dick and a female with a vagina, right? And now we go into like, okay, so there's psychological issues as well. So that argument by the conservatives, like, oh, because she identifies as a female, therefore she can't be a female, and then they trivialize it by saying, well, oh, okay, I identify myself as a tree, therefore I'm a tree. That's not what they're saying. This is not the whole argument. So you go, okay, so here's a person who says, again, as I say, like if I start identifying myself like, oh, like for example, Vidu, I say that I am not a Pakistani, I'm not an Indian, I am a global citizen. But then, who comes out to me and they says Pakistanis, Indians, they say that, oh, no, you're not fucking Pakistani, you're a brown man. Yeah, you would always be a brown man. I was like, no, hang on a second. My values define who I am. I am a global citizen. Luckily, I know that this is a privilege that I have a passport that I can travel around the world. And if I could, I could go to these Muslim countries as well, and I could relate with them as well. But no, they are actually evolutionary or culturally, on an evolutionary scale, they're actually left behind. Therefore, like I'll get I'll get my head cut off. But I identify myself as a global citizen. Now, people say, what the hell is that? What is a global citizenship? So people should be able to identify themselves as they are. Now, this is not really. So this is where it gets complicated. Like Jordan Peterson, whenever it gets complicated to defend his faith, he makes it complicated. But when the issues he doesn't really care about, he's like very firm on that. He's very firm. No, this is a male, this is a female, this is how we're gonna do it. All right, now get out of here. We have to include every freaking one in our society. Now, no matter how small the percentage of trans people might be, and if a trans person says that, you know what, I feel like a woman and I'm trapped in a male body, as Armin said, this is a psychological issue. So what is in it for you, me, or anyone else, or for the society to say, okay, you feel like a woman, fine, you want to dress up like a woman, fine, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
You want to be called a woman. You want to be called a woman.
I would call her a woman. I would, and this is it. So
Can they?
I don't see where there's a problem.
Can they play in female sports, or is that?
No, they can't.
Oh, okay. So you've now left the psychological realm then. So you've now
because it's a physical. No, because sports is physical.
But that's what's happening, no?
No. Okay. No, this is where we.
Well, I'm not agreeing with all the solutions. Here's the problem.
This is what's happening.
I know, but here's the thing we do. Okay, you've
left the psychological realm and you've gone into legal, you've gone into sports, you've gone into so many other domains. So if it's just feelings, I don't care. You can feel what you want, and I'll accept it. If you say I feel like this, I'm fine.
Okay.
I want to play in female sports.
Aside from female sports, which I understand that there's a lot of ridiculous solutions to just said. I agree with that. Okay.
Yeah, that's radical trans movement.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Would you be comfortable with accepting trans women as women?
On a personal level, yes.
Would you would you agree with just defining that trans woman as woman? Like, would include the definition of woman? Yeah. Including them in the definition of a woman.
Not in a biological way, no.
Woman is not a biological term. We're talking about identity. If we wanted to refer to the biology, we would say female.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's not biological, fine.
Okay, that's all. Okay, so this is most of the arguments. What you are referring to is the fringe woke that we have among liberals. Okay, and we have an issue with them as well. We have an issue with the woke people as well within us liberals. Okay, but this is not liberals. Of course, within whatever movement, you're going to have some extreme groups within it. And if you consume conservative media, guess what? Those are the people that are going to get most of the highlights. But that's not most of liberals. That's not most of the liberals.
No, I never said most liberals believe this. I said, like, you always, the mainstream, or rather any new movement is usually always pushed by the more extreme people, right? Most Muslims don't believe in crazy stuff, but the very few, like Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, they're the ones, they're the more outspoken ones. They're going to say the more outspoken things, right? Most Muslims won't even know about half the stuff that they talk about. But I'm saying that the general trend, if you look from where we were 20 years ago to where we are now, the general trend is to I won't say destroy is too hard a word, but it is to eradicate any kind of boundaries between the genders. And this is what the crux is. In Islam and Christianity, there
sexes
are
or genders.
Sorry?
Sexes or genders.
Sorry, you know what I mean. Sorry, the biological thing, right?
Okay.
Is to say there is no difference. Right? So
sex is biological, gender is social.
Sorry, sexes. So if you look for example, let's come out of the gender. Let's come out of the transgender thing for 1 second. The gender page, the gender pay gap, 70% to 100%, or $70 or whatever it is, pence to $100. We know the reasons behind that. Why don't they earn this much? Why don't the blacks earn this much as the whites? Why don't the browns earn this much as the yellows? The whole liberal thing is to help the minority, is to equalize along gender, along earning, along everything.
No.
Yeah,
you're misrepresenting liberals.
Where have you been? Honestly, everything. And I used to believe in this.
We're not. We're liberals. We're not commies.
If there's a gap between men and women, there is some sort of discrimination. If there's a gap between blacks and whites, there's some sort of discrimination.
This is a caricature. This is a conservative caricature of liberals.
No, it's not.
You've been consuming too much.
If you go to any of these female conferences, feminist conferences, or why is or even on the news, there's still a gender pay gap. There is still this. Why aren't there enough black people in this subject? Why aren't there enough
liberalism? Okay, let me tell you, liberalism
I
is
understand
about equal
minority. The voice, the person who is just the smallest guy at society. You want to make sure that he's protected. I understand that.
And liberalism is also about
overreached. They have overreached.
Yes,
and saying,
we will always have
if this
every
guy isn't represented in the same numbers that everyone else is, there must be some sort of discrimination. And sometimes there might be, but not necessarily.
I agree. Okay, I agree with you. That's nonsense. Okay, but you have to understand that the things that we agree on makes you Vidu a liberal right now. Okay, and liberalism is a he is a liberal.
Not this kind of liberal. No, I'm not this kind of liberal.
Okay, well, what you're saying is actually
I'm a libertarian. Libertarian.
That
has the word Aryan, and I'm in
all right, let me just tell you this, and then I'll move on. Okay, liberalism is about equalizing opportunity, not equalizing the outcome. Okay, if there is that's
practically speaking, it's not. In the mainstream politics, it's not. They have quotas, they have all these subsidies.
Again,
I'm going by what they do, not by what you say.
I think here's the thing. When you follow conservative,
just look at the policies.
Where do you get your news from? You've been following conservatives because they get the.
I follow everyone.
Well, you haven't been following actual liberals then. You've been
Okay, so then
following.
have you been following, I don't know, the last 20, 30 years of policy by governments? Have you noticed what
There
they've
have
doing?
been so many crappy ones and so many good ones.
Yeah.
But I think you've been only noticing the crappy ones. Again, I'm not saying liberals don't have the woke among them, the crazy fringe among them. But it's easy to highlight them and just look at the whole movement as if it's going down the drain. Here's the thing. Liberalism actually as a trend is more popular than ever. It's actually winning the game globally. So it's not weaker than before. It's stronger than before,
Where?
especially thanks to Putin.
Where?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm-
But anyways,
okay,
we have to
let-
address
let-
some
let-
super chat.
Go
Yeah,
on,
we
go
have
on.
to address this. We have to address some
Okay.
super chats. So Tate is literally a far less sophisticated version of JP. I totally agree with you. Andrew Tate is a poor man's JP, Jordan Peterson, who appeals to far less sophisticated audiences. Exactly. Look at the crowd. Go and read the comments. They are all freaking incels who are angry for not getting laid. That's who his crowd are. But this is a worrying trend though. Like I know, like again, this is a massive echo chamber when you go, oh, hang on a second. Where are all these people? Because I don't know. Like I mean, all the male friends that I know, they're all freaking top G's in their own little worlds. You know, like they go, they're slaying it. You know, like they're confident, they're good looking. They go there and they say, hey, you know, like they end up getting a girl, like or whatever. Like it's just not ending up getting a girl, or maybe they end up meeting a girl. Let's just say that. But who are these people? They're just angry. The conservative values and. So yeah, so I totally agree with that. But I just want to add on that point as well, like in that interview that Muhammad Hijab had with come on, man, Muhammad Hijab, that was so embarrassing, man. I really thought that you were the top G. When he was saying that, oh, you are so, you're a physical specimen. I mean, I swear to God, like somebody actually said it. I read a random tweet. It said, oh, is Muhammad Hijab going to try to intimidate him? No. The only person who kept his character there, that was Andrew Tate. He's sitting there like that with his sunglasses on. It's like, yep. He's going to do it. Muhammad Hijab was like, anyway.
You
so
care a lot
Muhammad
about appearances, don't you, Harris? Like about
no. These guys do. They care about their appearances. They all of these guys
Body
are
language,
characters.
man. Body language.
These guys are characters. They are putting on a show,
Yep.
and they're like look at the comments underneath. We don't get these comments. We don't get these cultish comments like, oh, Harris, you're like you are my dream man. We don't get that because we're not propagating. We're not reflecting on this on people. We're not doing that. This is not the goal. But their goal is. I saw one. Anyway, I'm going to detract. What was I talking about? So Andrew Tate, for example, he talks about, his problem, and I get it. Andrew Tate is he wants to be a cult leader. He really does. He wants to be a cult leader. The way he talks, the way you could argue that sometimes he can make good arguments, and you can understand how some people might be attracted to it. I get that, and then I can also get it. Like, and then this is a problem with wokeism, like where the people misrepresent people. He's been misrepresented a few times, but most of the time he's actually he's been fairly represented. I don't know about this. Again, this is like these incels storming in his conversation with Piers Morgan. I think Piers Morgan did a fairly good job. I actually didn't see Piers Morgan held him up on that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, next question." And it's like, there's another woman's video out there where she asked him some tough questions. She said, "Okay, next question." Like, what do you mean next question? Just freaking answer the bloody question. With Piers Morgan, Sandy Hook massacre. Piers Morgan had his. Sorry, this is too big. Sorry, this one. Piers Morgan had his balls in his hands, and he's like, no. How? If you have to say, I've known Alex Jones since 2004 or 5. I've seen him. I've heard him, and he's like, I don't know. I go to every person's podcast or whatever, and you can't say that. Hang on a second, man. You're making fun of Sandy Hook massacre, or you're denying that, or whatever other conspiracy theories he peddles, and you're going to say, "Oh, yeah, this is a freedom of speech." Bull fucking shit. You have a problem. You are such a champion of freedom of speech, but you're following an idea. You are fantasizing Vladimir Putin. This is not Putin is the now, but in this last interview, we get it. He's actually nervous about Putin because when you become the most Googled person, fair enough. Like you don't want Putin's hired assassins coming after you. He actually said it. It's like, oh, I don't want to piss off.
That's
Vladimir
a
Putin.
joke, Harris.
No, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Do you want to?
Putin's assassins coming after you because he's more Google than
No, because if someone with the popularity of Andrew Tate, if he goes after Vladimir Putin, if he actually if he starts saying what he actually believes in, mate.
Okay.
Do you know who Bill Browder is?
Okay, we should move on. We should, Harris. We should move on. We're like,
I'm actually saying that. You know what? Yeah. Anyway, so I don't want to say too much, but anyway, so
if you say too much, Putin will be after you, bro. Don't say anything.
Yeah, if you say too much about Putin, he will come after you.
We have picture questions.
Top G, let's go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Respect is earned. What's clear about the trans debate is that trans activists didn't get the memo.
Way to generalize. This is over. Good thing this is a super chat to you, not me, because I could shit on it. This is
shit on my super chatters.
I shit on your super chatters. Like, what the hell is this? This is like an overgeneralization. Just like go pick a few trans activists and just attribute it to all of them at the same time. Great job.
No, but Armin, do you understand why people get upset about when we talk about, okay, like I'm taking the middle position. Like I've said it over and over again. Okay, sports, no, we cannot give anyone, because psychological issue, I can recognize that and I can respect that and I can give you the respect that every human being deserves, right? And even the issues that come with it, I recognize that I'm going to give that. But when there's biology involved, I'm sorry, we're going to have to be a bit more, firm with so-called recognition. I play the only sports that I play. I'm a cricketer. The only sports I play, I can tell you, I actually went in the nets with Australian national team women, just one below national team. I freaking destroyed them. Like I'm not a professional cricketer. I'm a freaking club cricketer. Hang on a second. So we understand that this is the reason why. So when biology gets involved, so you have to be firm with your definitions. And when there's no biology involved in the social life cycle, like I work with a trans woman or something, I would offer you my seed. I would, like whatever. Like I'll recognize you and respect you, and I will actually go after the person who does not respect you.
You said that. Okay, we need to answer picture questions fast because there's another show after this on Atheist Republic coming right after. I'm doing 2 shows back to back today. All right, so Patreon questions, guys. Let me explain how this works. Okay, if you want us to answer questions, there's a couple of ways. On Secular Jihadists, you could become a patron and then post your questions there. Every time I put the link to the stream there, and you can post your questions under it. Sultan, how do you get your questions if people want to send you questions?
I don't know. I usually in my old format, I would share the link to this conversation on my Patreon. But that's not how this one works. Okay. I'm going to start my solo program soon. Anyway.
Okay, cool. All right, so Creation Slayer 3000 says, do you think there is any value in secular individual embracing stoic or ascetic values? Obviously, avoiding pleasure sometimes is good. Don't eat yourself into diabetes. But what about things like fasting or living sparsely? Is that a good idea? What do you guys think?
I agree. I think that's what a lot of people are crying out for when they turn to religion or Tate or people, whoever, Peterson. They want some sort of order, some sort of structure. Now, I believe, as obviously as an atheist, I believe you can get that without God and prophet and heaven and hell. And the Stoics, which preceded Abrahamic religion by thousands of years, right, have already shown us the way of denying short-term pleasure for long-term pleasure in general is a good strategy in life, and it's not easy to master, but it is good. And I think if you do live by that, you do become a better person. You do achieve your goals and live a more fulfilled life. The problem with this sort of hedonistic way is that everything is now, the pleasure is now, and at the end of the day, when you look at yourself, you haven't really grown as a person overall. So yeah, I definitely think so. We are crying out for this. The answer is not necessarily conservatism, right? The way that it's been defined, it's something like this, something like a stoic approach. And that does mean controlling what's in between your legs and not thinking just because I'm free now, I can do whatever I want, wherever I want. That's not to say you don't enjoy it at all, but you pick your moments. And same with food. Don't eat so much food. Everyone's fat nowadays. Why is everyone fat? You back in the days, if you were poor, you were skinny. Now, if you're poor, you're fat, and you die of
And then they
diabetes.
say that you need to glamorize being fat.
That's also pushed by who? Is it pushed by the left or pushed by the right?
Hey, I don't
Left.
deny
Say
we
it.
have crazy
The left.
Say it. Say it. I want you to say it.
Yeah, the left.
And Tate
Oh, yeah,
coming in with his six packs.
What Vidu, are you insane? Who says the left doesn't have its crazies? Like,
I'm
did
saying
I
they
ever
have-
deny
they
that
have
left doesn't have crazies?
more
We
crazies.
highlight them. No.
Yes,
no.
they do.
You don't.
In mainstream culture,
We-
in mainstream, in Western mainstream culture,
Of course,
Yeah,
you're gonna see them. Okay, I agree with you. You know what? Because the left.
That's body shaming. Body shaming, guys.
Let me make my point. Okay, Vidu.
Lizzo.
I agree with you. Okay, mainstream media is owned mostly by the left. So you're going to see the crazies of the left on mainstream media more than the crazies on the right. If the mainstream media was owned by the right, you would have seen more of the crazies of right-wing people on the
I
media.
agree.
Okay,
I agree.
but it
100%
doesn't mean
agree.
that we don't. It doesn't mean that we have more crazies. It just means that more of our crazies are on the media than their
Yeah,
crazies.
more of your crazies have like let's say we have 100 number of conservative crazies or right wing crazies and 100 left wing crazies, and I'm on the right side. Okay, I'm a right wing crazy, but only 20 of my people have microphones.
Yeah, I
100
agree.
of yours have microphones.
I agree. That makes sense. But
Right.
that doesn't mean we have more crazies. It's just more our crazies are
More
just
of your
more on mainstream
crazies
media.
have more of a sway in mainstream culture. That's not just like.
But that's going
at
to
the end
change,
of the day,
though, with
when it comes to
Musk at
voting,
the
it's
helm.
50-50.
And
It's
more
always
of
50-50.
more of conservative crazies have access to mosques and churches and politicians.
Bro, in the West, who goes to mosques and churches?
What?
In the West, churches don't mean shit. They don't.
No.
this is
Okay,
shit. They don't mean shit.
the wokeism dreams of being able to have the power that religion has on politics. It doesn't even come close.
No,
The
I
power
would
of
say it
religion
does.
on politics,
I would
it
say it
doesn't even
does.
come close. We could talk about it.
I would say
Like,
that gap
I
is
would
closing. That gap is closing
I
rapidly.
would say that wokeism is trying to get there. The amount of influence of religion
wokeism is
has-
imitating the religious structures that Christianity.
Yes, I agree with that. But they haven't yet have their claws on religion, politics the way
it's-
religion has it.
Very close. Very close.
I'm
And
gonna,
then
I'm
the
The
gonna,
gap
I'm
is
gonna have my
changing.
2
The gap
cents on it.
is, sorry, the gap is closing.
But let me answer this. Let me answer this
Go for it,
question
go
because
for it,
we're getting
go
off
for
topic. So I think the actual question is not that. Yeah. So stoicism and just like not eating too much. I think the questioner understand that those are good things. But he's asking about going extreme, like fasting for a long time and going withholding pleasure. And I think that's a bad idea because we have enough ways to practice restraining pleasure that are helpful, that are actually beneficial, that you don't need to find excuses to withhold yourself pleasure to the point where they're not helpful, right? So working out, for example, requires you to withhold pleasure in the short term for a long-term goal, but while you're doing it, you're benefiting from it, right? Or working hard, like for example, stop playing video games and studying. And like practicing, like for example, you say like I study 10 minutes without any without stopping at any point. I'm going to try to do 20 minutes next. I'm going to see if I could like study without any pauses or any distractions for 30 minutes. Like you could practice these things, and while you're doing it, you're actually studying. You don't need to go find like, oh, I'm going to go sit in the snow because this is going to make me tough. Because if I could stand the coldness or the heat or whatever, I could stand under the sun. Like you're damaging your body. Like there are enough excuses to practice restraint and delaying pleasure that at the same time is benefiting your health and your mental fortitude, that you don't need to go find excuses that is damaging. Like for example, fasting for a long time. That's not really good for you, right? Anyways, that's my advice. You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
I agree with this. What Armin basically said. Yeah, to me, what's attractive about liberal values is recognizing individuals. I mean, the individualism, and you see this onslaught on individualism. Sorry, Vidu, can you mute yourself? You're sniffling away. So individualism, respecting individuals, and we need to respect individuals. And this is a problem these people have when it comes to gender issues. And it's not only trans is the low-hanging fruit for them. They have the same problem with women as well. They're like, oh, women, gender-defined roles, women. Look at all these guys, yeah? And they get caught every now and then. They get caught up in their own words. They're like, oh, Hijab was trying to make excuses from, oh, it's just a semantic issue. No, it's not just a semantic issue. Andrew Tate said, oh, they misrepresent me when I said that, oh, my sister is my husband's property. You freaking said it. Oh, no, what I meant to say was that, oh, I'm responsible for your safety. Therefore, I can, and now I'm paraphrasing, therefore, I can exercise certain restrictions on you, certain powers on you, that I can tell you don't go out at 2 a.m. at night. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt because, honey, I love you. You know, this is said by every control freak that, oh, I hit you because I love you. You know, so that's what it is. And I can understand you can be in those tough situations. I've been in a tough situation where I'm like, okay, you know, like you have a fight with your other half, and you're like, okay, please don't do this. Okay, you're like, okay, all right, I've calmed down. You haven't calmed down. Oh, I want to go out for a walk, whatever. It's 2 a.m. This is not a safe neighborhood. I don't. Please, you would beg you change your tone, and trust me, try that. It actually works. But if it doesn't work, you have to let them go. Otherwise, it's false imprisonment. But I get all these problems. They exist. And if something does bad happen, then, you know, you're not responsible for it. You did your best for it. But what is definitely wrong, if you beat the shit out of your girlfriend or wife or whatever, whereas these people suggest that, oh, I'm going to exercise certain powers, you would definitely not only spend the night in prison, but you might be spending a few more nights in prison. By nights, few more nights, I mean like a few more years in prison. And that's how it should be. So coming back to it, so individualism is about respecting individuals. You want to respect individuals. We give them the respect and dignity that they deserve. And yeah, you get it. Okay, you know, like avoiding pleasure. You know, like I'm going to work out. I'm not going to eat chocolate. And it requires certain discipline. And why do you do that? Okay, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be healthy. If I'm healthy, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to attract, really hot females, or whatever your end goal is. I'm going to drive a Bugatti. You know, like this is a big thing with OGs these days. But so I think it's not that big a deal. It's not that hard to understand. You don't need a freaking book to tell you that, hey, look after yourself. Look after your world. Your health. And be disciplined. Wake up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., whatever your thing is, and go and work out. It's not really that hard. You don't need religion for it. You don't need conservatism for it. This is the whole point of liberalism. Be educated enough to work it out yourself.
All right. We have a super chat as well. Do you want to read this one?
So words are important. When we can't agree on definitions, 9-year-old Aisha becomes a woman. Muhammad is a gent. Man becomes a woman. Property equals not property. You know what? David Wood actually tweeted. He made a really funny tweet. Let me find out. What was it? Which one was it?
Wait, we have to move on.
No. We're done. It is related to the super chat. We have to address this. Where am I?
Oh wait, somebody Ultra was like gave a £2 super chat saying, oh, Vido with the slam dunk, checkmate. I don't know what this is referring to, but it's probably referring to this one. Oh wait, Ultra was also saying, I'm typically left leaning, but the trans debate has pushed me to the right, and now I'm what? Recessing? What is that? Reassessing the left and the way they forcefully communicate.
Thank you, guys.
This is what. Hang on a second. Look at this. Where's the previous one? Where's the one that you highlighted before?
Here, I'll bring it back.
Yeah, right. So words are important when we can't agree on definitions. Yes, exactly. This is what people like Jordan Peterson do. What do you mean by a 9-year-old? What do you mean by a girl? You know, like, oh, no, but when it comes to gender issues or recognizing genders, he's pretty fair. A man is a man with a dick, and a woman is a woman with a pussy. You know, that is the definition for him as far as he's concerned. But anyway, these religious people, this is what they do. Andrew Tate once said the reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-old, by the way, this is terribly misogynistic statement, is because they've been through less dicks. Now that he follows Muhammad, which I don't think he does, but he's pretending to follow Muhammad, he said that he can make the same argument about 8 and 9-year-old or even less.
YouTube, we don't agree with any of these points. We are covering other people's opinions, just in case, like you're wondering, because your algorithm is too stupid.
We're condemning it. And we're condemning it. We're condemning this behavior of Andrew Tate. So this is what it is. These guys they just muddy the water and they come up with their own freaking logics. And they're like, okay. And I don't know how much of this Islam shit Andrew Tate actually knows. I don't think he does. And I don't think he cares. You can see through him. He's only in it because he sees that, okay, there's some alignment of my values with Islam. Christians don't give a F about it. There's so many incels there. Christians are not going to own him. And we're going to see some Muslims disowning him as well.
All right. So, guys, we should keep the answers shorter because we're trying to keep this under 2 hours.
We're going to take some snippets out of it. Of it, so it's good.
Let me just tell you guys, please keep your questions shorter. Like, I can't even put this in the comment section because it doesn't fit. Like, this is like, guys, please.
That's a freaking question? That's a freaking question?
Guys, like, seriously. Okay. The question is, I was catching up on an earlier live stream and you had a debate about freedom of speech. You said that non-governmental entities should be allowed to ban or fire individuals for comments they make as long as the government is not involved and it is not violating human rights. I slightly disagree because I think the world is changing. Big corporations have more money and power than some small countries, and what they do can significantly impact your ability to freely share ideas. I understand legally no violation of free speech has happened when, say, Amazon bans a book, but I do feel like in essence, the author's speech has been severely dampened. Sorry for the long question, just wanted to be clear as I could. Okay, first of all, I didn't say it's not a problem. I just said it's not a violation of free speech. Just because it's not a violation of free speech, that doesn't mean it's okay. We just have to be able to identify what the problem is here, okay? Like the standards, violation of free speech means that the government has dampened your voice. When big corporation dampens we need to come up with a new law or a new term or a new standard and a new method, because we can't just tell private companies that they can't have community standards. So we have to understand that private companies need to have community standards, or else the platform will go to shit and nobody will use it. That would be unreasonable. But at the same time, we have to understand that they can't go too far with it because these places have become where most conversations are happening. So we need to come up with a solution for them not to go overboard with how they censor. So it is censorship. It could be too much censorship and we could complain about it. Just don't call it a violation of my free speech, because that's not what's happening. So I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think,
Sam.
I think I was misunderstanding.
Yeah? Okay, good. So we don't. Cool. Oh, this is interesting. Gusole Kuchik is asking, lately I've seen more and more videos of mullahs getting their turbans knocked off their heads in Iran. So mullahs, as they're walking, people come and just like remove their turbans. It's a thing now. Some of them don't even wear turbans anymore because they know somebody's going to knock it off. That's how bad it is. And so it goes, which I think is a low-level form of assault. Are you worried at all about these actions detracting from the essential support of the religious base in Iran? Are you concerned about the treatment of conservatively religious in general? I'm not concerned about the turban head removal. If it gets violent and bloody, yes, but honestly, this is a symbol of the regime. The turban is the flag of the regime. Honestly, if some of the violence is even justified of the Basiji, or like if they're from the military or any of the armed forces, I think the violence is justified, even if it's not it's not the time that they're shooting at you or attacking you. Because like if somebody like attacks an SS member in Germany during World War II, in France, for example, we will clap, right? And I think in Basiji, for example, in Iran, has the same role. But a mullah maybe necessarily doesn't have that role unless they're working with the regime. Then in that case, I think more things would be justified. But a random mullah, that thing they're wearing on their head is a symbol of the regime. It's a flag, and they're basically, it's kind of like they're waving the flag of the regime passing by. And you have, I think, not only you have the right to knock that off. I think it's actually, you should be thanked, and you should be, I think you're doing something good. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's borderline assault?
Well, it is. If it's assault, it's assault. I mean, do I care about it? Probably not. I've always said it that I am against capital punishment, but when I see a child rapist and a murderer gets hanged or whatever, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna be worrying about it or campaigning against it. I'm not gonna care about it. So sorry, move on. That's bad luck. F off. But then you see that there are some ambiguous cases where you have political prisoners who could be falsely accused. It's not brutal murder or whatever, or what it says that there's ambiguity regarding that. Then you go, oh, okay, hang on a second, I need to see that. That's what. But if it's a clear-cut case, I know again who gets to decide that. I get it. It is difficult, but sometimes case-by-case basis, you always see it. So in this case, like you gave a good example, if we were in the 30s, in the 1930s, you would have said like, okay, well, this SS guy has been beaten up. Yeah, well, it is assault. I'm not going to worry about it. Assault is bad. It shouldn't be allowed. And chaos is bad, but I'm not going to worry about it because I inherently, and look, people turning around like, oh, this is an emotional argument or whatever. We are emotional creatures. At the end of the day, if anything, we are actually protecting our emotions. Why do we not allow torture? Why do we not allow suffering? The reason why we don't allow suffering and torture is because it's an emotion, and it's a negative emotion. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to feel hurt. And this is the reason why, and we try to protect ourselves. We say, okay, you're not allowed to hit someone. You're not allowed to spit on someone. Why? Because that's going to hurt them. It's going to. So, yes, obviously there are limits to it because we can't, obviously, like your speech hurts me, like we have to draw a line somewhere. But there are clear distinctions between that. So then we say, okay, we're not going to allow that. So I don't understand why people go that, the moment it involves an emotion, we say, no, hang on, it's not allowed, or it doesn't have any philosophical value. I don't agree with that.
Well, no, I mean. The issue with this is that I would be against this if this was happening, I don't know, to mullahs in the United States or in Canada or in the UK or a free country, okay? When we're talking about Iran, we're talking about a hostage takeover. Like we are like in the middle of almost it's like a civil war, right? This is like a liberation movement and it's going to get dirty. So if you are like...
How do you feel about that, Armin? How do you feel about that? Because I was actually thinking about it because you posed this question to me. I don't know, somebody else posed that, and it was definitely with you. And I was wondering, I was thinking about that, and afterwards I thought about it. It's like, you know what? I am not going to shy away from it, and I'm going to say, you know what? If these mullahs or clerics or they get beaten up or something, I'm sorry, there's no revolution or no overthrow of power has ever taken place without violence. Again, I am not in favor of violence in general. But in normal circumstances, again, like against Hitler, how are you going to handle that? How are you going to propose overthrow of Hitler without violence?
Okay, I'm not going to get emotional about it, but I'm going to try to be morally consistent about it, okay? I'm going to say that the mullahs who haven't been involved in violence should not be violently attacked, okay? Any of the armed forces, I think, is fair game, okay? Mullahs having their turbans knocked over, if it was happening in a country where you're not actually being taken like prisoners by the regime and the mullahs endorsing that regime, okay, the mullahs are the symbol, this is the regime of the mullahs, okay, I don't have the same judgment for you in Iran that I would have if you just randomly go and knock off a mullah's turban in UK or somewhere else. This is different. This is war right now. But again, that doesn't mean I endorse violence on mullahs, even in Iran, unless they are part of the violent suppression. What about you, Video? What do you think? Let's go to Video. Unmute yourself.
So, no, I think I like...
Turn it up, turn the volume up.
Oh, man.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I largely agree with everything you just said there. In general, of course, no one's hijab or taken off or turban, but I don't know the specifics that well of the Iran situation. If you're saying these mullahs and especially the military, they're like, seriously, like it's like a hostage situation or something like that, then it's understandable. These people have suppressed not just women but the men as well, all of the Iran for so many years now, and they've gotten away with it on so many different occasions. So if that does spill over into I mean, we say violence like knocking off a turban is going to kill someone. It's not. But I mean, listen, they're reaping what they sowed, right? And they sowed this for the last however many years now. So I might not like it, but I've got no sympathy for them either.
Yeah. Good. Okay. We got a super chat. Let me go back to here. We got 2 super chats, and the second one is endorsing by Ultra is endorsing the first one. So the first
one. That was the first one.
Yeah,
we can't agree, and I think we spoke about this. I'm just remembering because I only watched 40 minutes of.
Well, let me read it first. Zagros is saying words are important. When we can't agree on definitions, 9-year-old Aisha becomes a woman. Muhammad is a gent, and a man becomes a woman. Property equals not property. Okay.
So, I see a lot of.
Okay. We can change definitions and then agree on definitions. Like changing definitions and agreeing on definitions are not a contradiction. But go on.
I see a lot of deception here. I don't know who said it. There was a famous cleric who said that don't tell the Western women who are interested in Islam about wife beating and all of this child marriages and all that BS because they're not ready for it yet. But just tell them slowly what that is. So these are major red flags, as Nuria Khan said it. These are red flags of Islam. And one of them is like this child marriage and misogyny. It's ingrained misogyny. You just can't get the F out of it. Just can't, no matter how. And you can see that in the behavior of these proselytizers. So in that interview, I only watched up to 40 minutes or something because, I couldn't stand the same bitching about like these loser boys who take advantage. By the way, Andrew Tate is not a loser, by the way. Andrew Tate, you are a top G. I agree with that. You have milked the fucking system to the best of your ability, and all these little incel fanboys, they are sucking you like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, sucking you up. Sorry, sucking you up. Okay. So Andrew Tate was complaining about. Let me go on full screen. Andrew Tate was take that off. So Andrew Tate was complaining about. Oh look, I was accused of saying the word. Women are men's property. And he actually did say that his sister, if a father takes, he walks his daughter down the aisle and he gives her away to a man, now she's her responsibility, blah, blah, blah. So he was complaining about that. And hijab did not anyway. And he said that, I don't mean that women are men's property. I was just quoting the Bible. Hijab is like, yeah. So it's just a semantics issue. But he didn't say, no, hang on a second. The Quran actually does say that explicitly. The men are the caretakers of women. Men are a degree over women. Hijab didn't say that. He just said, so it's just a semantic issue. You're not saying that he actually owns her, which is true. He's not saying that. But Islam does actually say that explicitly. When you say about property, maybe it might not use the word because there's another example of property in Islam, which is a slave girl. A slave girl is also a freaking woman. But she's a fucking property. A slave girl is a man's property in Islamic theology. Andrew Tate, I don't know if you're a deep reader or not, or like you're just learning it, but he probably doesn't even care. Like, forget about Andrew Tate. I think I'm just addressing his fanboys who are going to suck his dick regardless. I'm sorry for being really crude. But you do your own research and you're going to say, okay, okay. A wife is there, a man is there. Okay, maybe, with your Western conservative values, that might be acceptable to you. But hang on a second, you're missing a key point. That is a sex slave, a female sex slave. She is way down there. And Muhammad endorsed it. Islam endorses it. This is the reason why. And Andrew Tate knows it. This is why he made that video. He said, like, ISIS are not the true Muslims. Oh, yeah. They actually are the true Muslims. These Muslims are not the real Muslims because they're not following the actual book, the Quran and the Hadith, as it instructs you to behave. So yeah, this is quite remarkable. But I don't know. But I'm just waiting for. I think Andrew Tate is much smarter than that. I reckon it's all going to blow up in the faces. But the $1 million question is he going to come out and say, "Hey, I'm an ex-Muslim"? By the way, I reckon he's our guy. He's our guy. Andrew Tate is our guy. What do you boys reckon?
I don't want him.
I don't want him either. True. I don't want him either. But yeah, I don't want him either. But I reckon he's that guy. He's outrageous, and these guys are like frothing over him. It's just so comical. I mean, is this what the Daba is reduced to?
You know what? I know you guys Vito disagrees, okay, but because of I like that Andrew Tate is a Muslim, okay? I want more people, liberals who have not yet realized what Islam is about, to learn why Tate is becoming Muslim, because they hate Tate, and through Tate they're going to find what Islam is really about, and I like that. All right. So,
Vito.
Vito, you have any picks?
I actually agree with Armin.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
You
good.
agree with this
Okay.
as well. Andrew Tate is a... I don't know about that. By the way, this is body shaming. This is body shaming, and I think this is just we don't agree with that. Men with small dicks, they also have a heart, and they must not be made fun of.
I wasn't sure where that was going, man. That was small heart.
I don't know. Like, I mean, it's just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just being woke. I'm being wokely consistent.
Okay, wokely consistent. Yeah, it's
I
not
don't know
woke
the
to be
word.
accepting of people. Okay, it's woke to actually it's the opposite of woke. Woke
No,
is
it's
not
accepting.
accepting people.
Woke is accepting people, like transgender women.
No, woke
rights,
is
men rights.
excluding people. Woke is censoring people.
Yeah, but it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. Like, if you don't accept someone,
woke
then
is-
we're going to exclude you.
Woke is pretending to accept people, using the pretending
now
of
you're changing
accepting
your
people.
definitions. Now you're changing your definitions, Mohammed.
That's literally what wokeism is. Okay.
No. Well,
Yeah. All right. So guys, I posted a link on the Secular Jihadists channel's community tab for members only. If you guys want to come up and talk to us live on air, you're only gonna have a short window of opportunity to come by the end of us answering this next question. If not, we're gonna close it off and go.
just drop it in the chat box. Just drop it in the chat box. We've got 25 minutes. Just drop it in there.
No, we told our members that we only give it to members. You can put it to you could link it. You could post a link to your YouTube members as well. Put it in the YouTube members. Just all members only.
Yeah.
Good, link
okay.
it. Okay.
Here is the link to chat with us live.
Just
Here we
say
go.
members only. Okay.
I know. It's
All right,
it's yeah.
So it's either Harris Sultan's YouTube channel or Secular Jihadists YouTube channel. But hopefully by next week it's going to be VideoViz as well. So
We're
go
gonna have
become
VideoViz.
members of VideoViz channel as well.
I really like Vidu's atheist conservative take on things. I don't think it's, I don't think Vidu you're a conservative. I reckon you're you make some really good points. I really like it.
I think we have a good balance here because he's not conservative, but
I'm the centrist.
No, he's not. Okay, yeah, but
I am the centrist.
Yeah, you're right. But
You're
we have a
too
good
woke.
balance here.
You're too woke. Oh no, hang on. You're too woke. You're a bit on the right. I'm right in the middle.
That's good. We have a good balance here, so we can keep disagreeing. Guys, I think every week we have to start with a topic that is about like liberalism, gender ideology, feminism, and like within the context of Islam and Christianity and other people or like left, right. I think it would be like we start with that and then we go to Patriot questions because I think our disagreements is like a lot more interesting than I've seen on other channels. Yeah,
I reckon.
Okay.
Does anyone want to know about this Pakistani journalist who got killed in Pakistan, in Kenya? Did you hear about it?
No, we don't have time. So, but keep that. Let's bring that up next week. Okay, let's bring that up. Is that about gender issues?
Who's going to care about that? No, Arshad Sharif, you didn't hear about it. Like we lost a superstar. This is this guy, so I'm going to talk about it if nobody comes in. So this guy, Arshad Sharif.
Wait, we have a question still. Okay, but after this, we answer the last question. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this guy, Arshad Sharif, and I'll talk about it next week. I haven't actually thought about it.
Yeah, let's make up our figure out how we're going to talk about it, and then we'll cover it. Okay. So Gusala Kuchik is asking, am I wrong? Yeah. Am I wrong to find the terrorist massacre at the shrine in Shiraz? Guys, let's start from scratch because this is like a mass murder right now. Okay? Stop laughing about this. Jesus Christ.
I'm looking at me too.
Oh my God. All right. Okay, so am I wrong to find the terrorist massacre at the shrine in Shiraz incredibly suspicious? No, you are not right. But let's see what this is about. I'm just gonna
I have no idea
show
what
you.
that is.
Yeah, so 15 killed in Shiraz shrine attack.
Oh,
at least 15 people have been killed and 40 injured in an attack on a Shia religious shrine in the southern Iranian city of Shiraz. I lived in, by the way, this is where the city I grew up in. So ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack, right? So this
Is that where the Shiraz wine comes from?
Yes, that's where the Shiraz wine used to come before the revolution.
Really?
Yes.
Shiraz is from that? Oh, I was just joking.
No, that's where the Shiraz wine used. Yeah, before the revolution, that's where the Shiraz wine came from.
Damn.
Yeah. So guys, let me show you the guy entering the shrine. Before. Oh, here we highlight this. All right. This is the guy, apparently an ISIS member. Okay, but a lot of people are suspicious about this narrative. This seems like a false flag operation. Okay, a lot of people are saying this is not ISIS. This is the Iranian regime. Okay, so this is the guy. We're not going to see the rest of it because he comes in and the people are praying and they're hiding behind walls and he comes and shoots them and you see them die and stuff. So I can't show that on YouTube. But this is him shooting at people entering the doors of the shrine, right? But here, actually, something very important about this is that he doesn't really know how to use the gun. He doesn't know. Okay, so the time is very important, but he sucks at changing the magazine. Like people who are experts, like when he goes in, at one point it takes him like too long to change the magazine. Like it shows that he's not very well trained in what he's supposed to do. Okay, but the problem is that the time that he did the attack, this was a poster by the regime saying condolences to the people who died. Okay, the problem people are saying, and this is not confirmed, okay, because I'm not sure, I'm just telling you what people are saying, okay, is that it was posted 3 minutes after the attack started by the regime before the attack was finished. So the attack started and it lasted 20 minutes. So while the attack was happening, the regime has posted the condolences to the people who died. And also, once the attack was over, within 1 hour, the regime came out like, oh, this guy was like ISIS and it's been confirmed and all that. Like usually there's an investigation and everything, but like apparently after 1 hour, they knew everything. And they said there were 3 people involved, but then later they were like, oh, there was 1 person involved. And then the video that apparently ISIS has released of the guy was with a mask, but and they brought eyewitnesses to the TV station saying the guy had a mask, but then the video was released and the guy didn't have a mask. So it's very confusing about what's happening. And the problem is that another thing makes people very suspicious is that this happened on the 40 days after Mahsa Amini was killed, right? Which Mahsa Amini was the woman who her murder started all of this protests in Iran, right? And the 40-day mark is the day that people were. So in Islam and Orthodox Christianity, the 40-day after someone's death is the day that you come and remember that person's death, right? And usually in Iran, when the regime kills somebody, the 40-day mark is when you reignite the protests, right? Because everybody has an understanding that this is the time that we all come out together, right? And the regime was expecting that. And this attack happened on that day, right? And people are saying this was a distraction method, and these are religious Shia people who were being killed. So they were trying to put the regime as a victim because the regime sees itself as like Shia religious, right? So the understanding was like they're changing the narrative to instead of like secular people or anti-regime people to be the victims, to make it so they're saying this is the regime killing its own supporters as a way to change the narrative on the protests. And the thing is that the regime has a history of these false flag operations. The regime even started like this. The regime started, and this has been proven beyond reasonable doubt, that the entire revolution of Islamic Revolution 1979 was started because of the burning of a movie theater by the revolutionaries themselves, like Cinema Rex. And also 20 years ago, the regime itself, and this also has been confirmed by regime officials themselves, they attacked the shrine of the Imam Reza, the 8th Imam of Shias themselves, as a way to another false flag operation. So they're saying this is in line with that. And also, these protests were not being covered or addressed by a lot of high officials in Iran. They weren't touching it. They weren't talking about it. They weren't addressing it. And right on this 40-day mark, as soon as this attack happened, all of them came out and they said, like, the protests must end. Look what the protests are doing. You guys are basically, there's chaos in the country. It's providing coverage, enough insecurity for ISIS to be able to come attack like this, and now we have to cut it off. And now a lot of pro-regime people who are saying, like, oh, maybe we should let people protest. Now, after this attack, a lot of pro-regime people, I go into the rooms, I go into social media, they're like, yes, government, come and shut it down, bring in the military, it's over now, this has gone for too long. So that's why a lot of people are suspecting that this was an attack of the regime itself on its own followers. And the anti-regime people are saying, look, the people who are supporting the regime, they even kill you for their own narrative, so stop supporting them. Again, nothing is proven, but these are what this is why this looks very, very suspicious and in line with the regime has, in line with what this regime has been shown to be capable of doing before as well. What do you guys think? Oh, you're Metenaris.
I don't have much to say on this, but yeah, that's a good description. I didn't even know it happened, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't even realize the length that the regime would do to sort of change narratives, to carry out the attack themselves and be like, well, listen, now you guys need us because of all the instability and violence that, you know, now that door's open, we need to come and close it, and then they'll close it for everyone, not just for that one thing. So,
yeah.
Oh shit,
that sounds crazy to me. Is it like, wow?
Yeah, and Putin just came out and said that they're willing to help Iran fight terrorists.
Oh, well, isn't that?
So, because Iran is giving them those drones.
But some people are suspecting that the reason why Iran is giving them drones is because Iran needs Putin's help to fight protesters, because apparently they're incapable of doing it. And you know, Putin helped Kazakhstan with its. Putin helped Kazakhstan with its protesters, right? Remember? And so now maybe Iran wants help as well, but Iranians do not tolerate foreigners coming in and helping, but maybe with a terrorist attack, maybe some pro-regime people will now tolerate it. We'll see. But this is if this is what they're doing, which is they have done before, it's crazy, because this is their base. They're going into a shrine and killing the people who are supposed to be their own base, the religious Shia people, as a way just to change the narrative. It's just insane. Anyways, let's just bring Oxymoron up. Hello. Oxymoron, we don't have audio. Say something. Do you guys have audio of Oxymoron? I don't have audio.
No.
Okay, Oxymoron, we don't have any audio.
Okay, in the meantime.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
In the meantime, so I just did this. You know, like, I'm a bit of a troll, so I did this just to piss off some of our ex-co-religionists. So Muhammad Adar posted this Andrew Tate podcast out now. Basically, he did that. He did that just to build up the hype. This is why I laugh. I'm like, these poor Muslim boys and girls, brothers and sisters, you are being taken for a freaking ride. But anyway, so you know, they built up this hype. They're like, yeah, he's accepted Islam. Has he? Has he not? No, he did not. No, he could not. Yes, he has. Oh my God, brother has accepted Islam. Yes, we have the one true religion. You know, all of that. So like 3 or 4 days later, he releases his podcast, and obviously at that time he knew that Tate has accepted Islam. But anyway, so I just did this. You know, like I just assume he'll be an ex-Muslim. So look at this one. So 20 quote twist. So let's have a look at it. Can you tell me what does ex-Muslim mean? And then Murtad detection opinion completely rejected, as if Aristotle Atari or whatever Abdul's name is, as if that matters. What a bag. You're not relevant anymore. Hey, I am still more relevant than you, bro, who puts fake freaking cat photos as his display pics. And what is this? What is this? Some random language that you don't even know. It's actually Arabic, but he doesn't even know. This guy is probably a Pakistani. You're burning RNL. What is it? Run, lol, and I'm not going to use that word, but that is disrespectful again. But like, who are these people? Hi, Snailton. Heard your career took a nosedive with the decimation of the ex-Muslim industry. I don't know what you're talking about, the decimation of the ex-Muslim industry. You think that's an industry? First of all, that was a false presumption that it is an industry. This is a movement where people are being awakened. And if you don't believe in that, go to my Urdu channel and go have a look at the ex-Muslim playlist. Every week, I get 2 or 3 people added who actually talk about other people who have left Islam. And you are worried about that. But you know what? You guys are just worried that, hey, like so many people are leaving Islam. Oh, by the way, some Quran for you. Let's have a look. They wish you disbelieve as they disbelieve. So you would be like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. Hang on a second. Hold my chair. What a remarkable piece of wisdom in that Quranic verse. They wish you would disbelieve as they disbelieved, as you would be like, is there anything special in that verse? Sorry. There's nothing special about that. So let's get on to the next one. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Islam make this guy so mad. Wallahi! Wallahi! Alhamdulillah, subhanallah. It's hilarious. May you die in your rage. Look at it. Look at these people. Look at these people. They can't even put the real photos. Maybe it actually could be her real photo, but who knows? These are the people with such a neek. I don't know. Vidu, what does neek mean? You know, Vidu? Such a neek.
Never. I'm too old for this kind of lingo.
Okay. That's good. We have to move on.
But this is hilarious. But I just want to. This is just for fun. Well, we need that. We need that fun. OG, top G. I actually used to think that, you know what, like, when I look at these old new atheist movement comments, I'm like, those arguments were sharp and brilliant, but they were simple. And they're like, there's no insult, there's no nothing. But then I'm like, okay, so there was an evolution of that. They're like, oh yeah, who's the OG? Yeah, you're finished, boy. You know, like they talk about that as if this is something that. But guess what? These incels, they actually buy that. I mean, they actually believe in these kind of this kind of machoism and this kind of persona, these kind of characters. People buy them. Man, you know what? If Prophet Muhammad was alive, I mean what you said, but that's an intellectual argument. But I'm just saying that not necessarily everything is intellectual. Everything is like for the optics as well. I reckon Prophet Muhammad would have been like, what the hell are you doing, brother? Wallahi, Allah is not happy with you. You know? You're like, that guy is selling sex on webcam and he's become the face of my religion? No, this is what Prophet Muhammad would have said. But no, you know, but this is all funny. But this is interesting. I reckon these new Dawah movement, these guys are destroying Islam. Because I know, you know how I know? Because I know traditional Islam actually exists in the traditional Muslim countries. For example, Pakistan, you know, there are still traditional clerics who are actually very populist and they're popular. Those people exist. And they're like, they're giving the dawah in the old-fashioned style, like, oh, you know, be humble, be this and that. But we have these culprits in the Western world who's like, you're finished, boy. and they're sitting with Andrew Tate, sucking his dick, and they're like, brother, what a specimen of a man you are. We've got these guys like Muhammad Hijab sitting there, and they're sucking his dick. It's like, okay, this is great. This is great for us. I guarantee you, people in a few years' time, they'll be like shitting on Islam like never before. You, and me, none of us could have done it like that.
Well, I mean, they're doing that right now in millions in Iran, so we don't have to wait that long. Okay, so Oxymoron is right here. Oxymoron, can you keep your question really short, please?
No. But I'll try.
That's great. Yeah, no, fuck you, Armin. No.
we are gonna have to cut you off.
Okay,
soon.
I'll talk about LGBTQ then.
Okay.
The video. So the movement, the LGBTQ movement, the problem isn't the people, but the movement. It has alliances with a lot of leftist narratives. So lot of people, because of that, are kind of skeptic about it. So the empathy that certain kind of sexual minorities receive is not universal in nature. So that could be a problem. The second problem with that is you assume that the LGBTQ people, they feel pain, they undergo emotional distress because there's a jumbling between what they feel and what's the objective reality is. I think it's nice if you use the proper gender proper pronouns, but it also takes time for the other people to acclimatize to that kind of reality. There could be other solutions like so the gender, it is also just not a social construct. It is social construct, but it is also a grammatical construct. So we could use another set of pronouns for them.
Oxymoron, short.
So we could use another set of pronouns for them. They could use another set of pronouns for them instead of he, she. Wouldn't it be a good idea?
I didn't understand the first point.
I don't understand anything.
Okay. So let's say Hindutva. In India, I think BJP would be the most pro-LGBTQ party, but the LGBTQ community, which is tied up with the global LGBTQ narratives, they wouldn't support BJP, despite the fact that BJP is the most LGBTQ pro-LGBTQ community that exists.
Well, I mean, if you are a party that is like responsible for the increase of attempts at genocide, excuse me when I don't clap for being more LGBT friendly.
No, but they insist that it is not a LGBTQ pro-LGBTQ party.
Why don't? Okay. If the Nazis all of a sudden supported LGBT, I'm not going to clap. If those people are having it, are denying reality, that's not my problem. I don't know. Okay, maybe what you're saying is true. I don't know. I just think like I don't care. I still hate the BJP.
Yeah, but so the problem is if BJP doesn't, you think that it is going to do genocide, which is a huge presumption, which could lead to.
Yeah.
I never said it. I never said it either. I think because I've said something similar. I've said it that there is going to be a Muslim genocide in India. I've said it before, and I can see the attitudes that have been appearing in India. And just yesterday as well, there's some dude said that Gustakhe Ram ki ek saza Sultan, paraphrasing. This guy said, I mean, let me break it to you. This Hindu guy, Swami or whatever, like with this red dot on his head or something, he said, oh, these Muslims, or he didn't actually say Muslims, but he said these people are actually insulting Hindu gods. You need to behead them. He actually said literally he spoke in the same language as the Muslims do, like behead those who insult Muhammad, etc. So these are the attitudes that we see that these attitudes are gaining more momentum. And I've said that, okay, and we've seen that Hindu-Muslim violence in India, and Muslims are always on the losing side because they're a much smaller minority as compared to the Hindu majority. Modi has said himself that, I would never be... Modi is not a fan of Akhand Bharat, in the United India, meaning including India and Pakistan, because in that world, Muslims will make up 40%, would make up of 40% of the Muslim population. So they don't want that. So these attitudes are slowly shifting. The secular India that was envied and beloved by everyone else, we worry about that, and that's the reason we say that. So not necessarily BJP itself committing that, but these attitudes that are increasing, this Hindu-Muslim division, this more radicalism in Hindus and more radicalism in Muslims. And again, I'm not blaming either side. I think they're both to be blamed. There's a saying in Urdu that you don't look at someone's red face and you start slapping your face to make it red. You don't do that. But it seems like this is what the radical Hindu element in India, that's what they're doing. So that's what we mean by the genocide. So I think eventually there's going to be a horrible, I hope I'm wrong. I've always said it. I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like this is going towards a Muslim genocide. This is going to be bad news for everyone else.
Okay,
thank you. No.
Okay,
We have to move
can
on.
I make
Thank you.
one or two points? So
No,
can I ask a question
half
to
a point.
Harris? Okay,
No,
so
no, no,
how
no.
long do you think?
Go fast. Ask a question, and then I'm gonna put you down. Ask a question. How long do you think? What?
It will take from the Muslim genocide to happen.
All right, I'm gonna put you down, Oxymoron. Harris will answer your last question. Okay, thank you so much.
I don't know. It's difficult to say. A lot of people, I've actually spoken with some Indian journalists, and they say to me that by 2019 or 2018, when the next election, 2019, they say that Congress might come back to power, which I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But if that does happen, then obviously we'll see a shift in the local politics and the attitudes, etc. But I don't know. This is a long time away. This is like 6 years away, 7 years away. So how things are going to change in the meantime, I don't know that. But I can't tell you. But I can't tell you about the genocide. I know it's a very loaded term, and it comes with a lot of caveats. But I'm going to keep seeing the rise of anti-Muslim bigotry in India. And I don't know where that's going to lead. So I can't give you a time frame.
Okay, Kimba is saying Armin and Harris convert back to Islam before you die. What about Vidu? You don't care if he burns in hell?
Yeah, Vidu.
Vidu, you could just stay. They don't care. They want. Okay, Kimba, sure, we'll do that. Okay, guys, we have to go, but I'm just going to show you one last thing, because I forgot to show you guys this about the attack that you saw in the shrine. What just many bizarre things happens in Iran. I just want to show you one weird thing just to show what a circus this country is. This is not on the news channel. This was in the middle of the cartoon showing for children, and they cut the cartoon, and the guy talks to the children about the terrorist attack in the shrine. All right, so this is like imagine like little kids. The guy is like,
از فاجعه شاه چراغ برای بچه‌ها بگوید.
سلام و درود خدمت شما بینندگان خوب شبکه پویا. شما کودکان عزیز.
So like you little children, you dear kids, you have to like, I wanted to let you know about the terrorist attack that came and killed like these people were worshiping. The terrorist attack happened, and we're now in the hospital, and the doctors were trying to save the kid that was attacked, and the kid didn't survive, and the kid died. Okay, this is the middle of a cartoon. They cut this just to make sure to get the propaganda of the shrine attack to the children as well. Like it's like, I don't know. I just wanted to share that how seriously messed up this whole entire country is.
Yeah, I'm going to share that last video with you, because I think it's high time. It might be demoralizing to see that OG and all these incel boys here, the top G in the house, like it might be demoralizing, but it actually isn't. This is all going to blow up in their faces. But we got to keep hitting the spot. Keep hitting them right where it hurts, because it is true. This is what Islam is in a nutshell. Have a listen to this one.
نلاقي يئسنا من المحيض اللي هي الكبرت ما عندهاش محيض. ايوه. ونلاقي لم يحضنا نوعين. لم يحضنا لمرض. واحده عندها مرض، يعني ما عندها مشاكل في الدوره الشهريه، عندها ما بتجيلهاش. تمام. ودي حالات نادره جدا وشاذه. والحكم للغالب ليس للشاذ. تمام. ونلاقي لم يحضنا جمهور المفسرين حضرتك، اولهم ابن جرير الطبري في كتاب في تفسيره المشهور، كتاب زاد المسير لابن الجوزي، يعني كلام صحيح البخاري، كلام الفتح، كلام الحافظ في الفتح، كل ده بيقول انه الاتفاق على انه الكلام هنا على الصغيره التي لم تبلغ الحيض بعد، يجوز تزويجها وإن لم يحدث وفاق تطليقها، والشرع قال هذا فعدتها كذا. مين اللي قال الكلام ده زي ما بقول لحضرتك كده؟ ولا لم يحدث
الصغيرة، يعني الصغيرة اللي هي لم تبلغ الحيض يجوز.
نعم.
يجوز
الكلام
تزويجها.
طبعا الكلام ليس كلامي، انما الكلام على ايه؟
يعني مثلا كم سنة؟ يعني 10
Even
سنين،
younger.
9 سنين، 8 سنين،
لم
11
يتحدث سن.
الحقيقة
لم يتحدث سن للزواج.
No.
لا الشريعة الإسلامية كلها. هات لي حد يقول لي اتحدث سن بيوم، بسنة، ب10، ب15، ب20.
انت على كده بقى، انت ممكن وهي لسه طفلة بقى شهر او شهرين.
Yes.
ان شاء الله حتى يوم.
See, this is what.
One day you could marry a one day old baby.
Exactly. This is what Islam is. So you got to remember, Andrew Tate is a follower of this ideology. Back in the day, I used to hear all these conspiracy theories that the George W. Bush and all these American presidents, they are part of some secret society where they worship the devil and blah, blah, blah. This is the devil. They're saying that a one-day-old baby can be married off to a man. Quran 65, verse number 4, it actually says that girls who haven't even menstruated yet, and it's telling you about those girls. And Muhammad Jihad actually talks about it. He actually proudly boasts about it. It's like, in the Quran, it doesn't give any age restriction. I'm sorry. I know this is very disgusting, but I'm sorry. This is what Islam is for you. Like, we all have to say, we have to give lip service to that. It's such a beautiful religion. 1.2, 1.4, whatever, fucking however many people believe in that. We have to respect that. No! This is a pedophilic religion. I'm sorry to use a loaded term, but this is what it is. The Quran actually does not put a limit on any marriage age. The Hadith, a lot of people actually like to disregard the Hadith, the modern Muslims, the lipstick Muslims. They like to put that away. But those Muslims actually say, no, Hadith is bullshit. You know why they say it? Because the Hadith literally puts the restriction, the limit on 6 years. 6. Let that sink in for a moment. 6-year-old girl. Because Prophet Muhammad, as roses are red, violets are blue. Aisha was 6, Muhammad was 52. That is true. I became Muhammad Ali. so that's what it is. And this is Andrew Tate's new cult. To be honest, again, let me give it to you. I don't think Andrew Tate believes in this, but these OGs, all these other incel boys from the Muslim community, they believe in this.
Okay, I see your pedophilic shape, and I raise you a more important religious figure that endorses such a thing, because that's just a guy. This is a TV guy, not a very. Was that guy a very significant person?
He might be in the Arabic speaking.
Do you want me to bring you somebody more significant? A little, tiny bit more significant. Yeah.
Yes. Do it.
Ayatollah Khomeini.
He's Shia.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
He's
this
a more
anti-Shia bigotry. This is anti-ex-Muslim Shia bigotry.
Okay, well, the most significant Shia figure, I would argue, in the past 100 years, Ayatollah Khomeini said, a man can have sexual pleasure from a child as young as a baby. This is the leader of the revolution, of the Islamic Revolution in Iran. Okay, this is the founder of the Islamic Republic as we speak. This is the guy that the Shah's regime was toppled for. Okay, then he continues. However, he should not penetrate vaginally. YouTube, we're not saying any of this. This is Ayatollah Khomeini, and this has been verified. This is in his book. Okay. But sodomizing the child is acceptable. Okay, so by sodomizing, he clarifies, it's like he uses a word that is described as thawing. Like you put, again, I'm not saying this, YouTube, you put the male genitals between the baby's thighs. That's the way you could do that with a baby. You can't, again, not my words. This is Khomeini. We're condemning this, okay? They're saying not the vagina is not ready yet, so you could use the baby's legs. It is better for a girl to marry at such a time when she would begin menstruation at her husband's house rather than her father's home. Any father marrying his daughter so young will have a permanent place in heaven. Okay, there we go.
This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. And
no.
I mean, I try to make sense out of stuff, how people do this, and look at this.
This is the guy that in every classroom in Iran and in every office, you have to hang his picture. Every classroom and every office has to hang this man's picture in the entire country.
And see, this is, I don't get it. I seriously, I don't get it. What is it in us, in humans, where the people are like, oh, I need this. I need this. I need something above me. There's got to be something more. I just don't get it. There's got to be something more. That feeling that is rising in your heart or your consciousness, exactly, but you feel that this is in your heart. It's rising in your heart, and you say, it must be my God. It must be Allah. It must be Allah. Islam is a sick and a pathetic ideology. There's no two ways about that. I'm sorry. You know, like this Muhammad Jal and the OGs, this PR movement, all that BS. This is BS. This is what Islam truly is. Islam is a pathetic ideology, and that it supports pedophilia. Pedophilia. Again, we condemn that. We do not endorse that. This is how pathetic that is. And we live in a world, guys. We live in a world. I reckon if we lived in the 90s, I think it might have been a bit different, because that post-Second World War, in the postmodernism world, these values were being reinvented, and people are saying, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. It shouldn't be like this, blah, blah, blah. But we live in a world in 2022 when people try to glamorize this kind of nonsense. They kind of glamorize it. And it seems like on surface that, oh, they're succeeding. I guarantee you that this is not going to work out. This is not sustainable. And this is why I always say the wokeism, as bad as it might be, it is nothing when it comes to the religious conservatism.
And look, this is what the current revolution in Iran is all about. That guy that I showed you, that's Khomeini. That's the picture of him, the guy in every classroom. And this is how the new generation of Iranians are responding to this guy. This is Khomeini, the previous Islamic leader in Iran, and now Khamenei, the current one. And the girls in Iran are taking off their hijab and showing their middle finger to him. This is the new movement that is happening, right? And if more Iranians read this guy's books before they did the revolution, I would suspect that they wouldn't do the revolution in his name. This is what happens when you join movements without actually being aware about what they're. But this generation is a lot more aware than the generation that brought these guys to power. Anyways, let's hope better for the future of Iran. Anything that you want to add or finish? Vidu had to go.
Yeah, we do have to go. No, this is it. I think this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I'm placing my bet on Andrew Tate slowly fizzling out of Islam, kind of like Mike Tyson. He's not going to come out as a vocal ex-Muslim because he was never interested. He wasn't even passionate about Islam itself. This is just a political maneuvering for him, or a social maneuvering for him. This is what it is. And it's just going to slowly fizzle out. And this hype is going to die down. And all these incel Muslim boys, incels, most Muslim men are actually incels, because that's this Islamic society is the production of incel men. Let me be very straight about that. Why? Because it's like, oh, I know this woman who has a daughter around your age, my son. I reckon you should marry him. He's like, okay, I've been wanking all this time, so I'm going to marry her. That's how the Islamic society actually works. That's how the Islamic society actually works. So you would find the highest concentration of incel men in the Muslim community. And Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are very popular amongst incel community. And Andrew Tate knows this. And this is why he's become a Muslim. And slowly, after a few months, maybe a year or so, he's going to say, he's going to give away when people are going to call him out. People are going to say, hang on a second, what are you doing? You're at the club, you're doing this, you're doing this. You've still got a gambling business in Romania. He's got like 10 casinos in Romania. All of that. You're still displaying your wealth like an obnoxious pharaoh. And he's going to say, like people are not going to... Just like people don't give a fuck about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is still a freaking official Muslim, but no Muslim jihadi has gone up to him and walked up to him and said, hey, sorry, man, I'm here to behead you because you're an ex-Muslim. Because, Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson still. He's going to knock you out. So I reckon he's going to go that way. He's going to slowly fizzle out of Islam.
We'll see. Anyways, I got to go because, as Gregory is pointing out, Susie's going to fire Armin if he is late. So, yeah, we are. I'm going. So, I don't know how, if you know, I have back-to-back shows on these days.
I'm done.
So, after. Yeah. So, no, I just want to let people know that if you guys, we're going to be covering the news in about 45 minutes on the Atheist Republic YouTube channel. So, if you guys want to come and cover, do you have any shows coming up other than this one this week? No?
Yes, I'm going to go because Nuria, those of you who don't know, Nuria left the Sunday Scoop because she obviously had other commitments, work and studies and everything. So I'm going to go back to Sultan's House of Sin, which is a solo show full of rants, unstoppable, uninterrupted rants. And I think I'm going to enjoy that. So I'm starting that from Wednesday. Usually it used to be on Sundays, but Sunday House of Sin became Sunday Scoop, and now that's become Sunday Secular Jihadists. But so Sundays booked out. Saturdays I do other stuff. So Wednesdays I'm gonna do Sultan's House of Sin, and we're gonna commit a lot of sin.
So, guys, if you want to join Harris in the sinning, make sure you subscribe to the Harris Sultan YouTube channel. That's coming up on Wednesday. And if you guys want to continue watching after this show, come in about 45 minutes on Atheist Republic. Me and Susanna are going to go over 10 news items. Usually they have something to do with religion, sometimes politics and religion, but somehow related to religion. 10 news items. On Atheist Republic, just go and subscribe to the Atheist Republic YouTube channel. And Darko just clapped using his 25th membership month anniversary. Thank you for that. Let the sin begin, guys. The House of Sin is very fun. This is like, if you enjoy Harris Sultan, then you're gonna get him uninterrupted without me and Vidu there. It's for him to be able to just go off at anything you like. So yeah, make sure you hit the bell notification on Harris Sultan's YouTube channel and subscribe and become YouTube members. And and also if you're watching right now, do not forget to leave a comment. It really helps these channels grow. So please make sure you do that. Okay.
It's going to be the same time as always, which is I think it's 11 a.m. London. That's actually a terrible time for a Wednesday, isn't it? I need to work out. Maybe.
Don't change it right. Don't change it right now because you already gave people a time. But
no, I haven't. I'm not as. First of all, Armin, I'm not as anal as you. I don't care. Fine. I can change things at any time, and my people understand. Okay, so I'm not as anal as you. Secondly, I reckon I can work it out. I actually need to work it out, Veiled Rose. I need to work it out. Maybe I could do early morning Australia, which is late in England, but
we'll figure this out later.
I'll work it out.
Okay. All right, guys, like and subscribe and hit the bell notification and leave a comment. Love you all. Thank you and bye. Mwah.